You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This stream is gonna be probably a little bit contentious, depends on who joins. But good morning, good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. You know what I'm saying? We here. You know, let's do a little quick roll call. Quick little rolly call, you know what I'm saying? We got Dr. Serene in the building. We got Smoochie in the building. We got Oscar in the building. Yes, sir, man. We got some stuff to talk about today. Yes, we do, Ski. So where y'all want to start, man? Where y'all want to start? I'm gonna let the chat rock with it. You see the title. We started with Canelo, old Cinnamon. We started with Cinnamon and Eubank, or we started with Lomachenko, man. Y'all just it's about to get messy. Yes, y'all let me know before we start off this prayer. Y'all let me know where we gonna go, man. We started with Lomachenko, or we started with old Cinnamon.
Tú vas a mamar el bicho. Tú vas a mamar el...
Y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Matter of fact, let's start off with our prayer. Let's start off with our prayer, and then by the time we get done with our prayer, y'all will let me know. Please bow your heads and join me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this wonderful morning, this Tuesday morning, Lord, that we get to see. Lord, please continue to guide us and keep us whole, Lord, and let us know that we are bigger than our problems. You are bigger than our problems. You are bigger than everything, Lord, and there's nothing that we can plan for that you don't have in store for us already that is much better, tenfold better, Lord. And we got to please give us the strength and the courage and the faith, most importantly, the faith to know that you are the driver of our life, of all things. And sometimes if we hop in a bus and we don't know the driver, but we trust him to get us to our destination safely. We hop in an airplane, we don't know the pilot, but we trust him. Don't even see the pilot half the time, but we trust him to get us to our destination safely, Lord. And none of them we have a close relationship with. But with you, Lord, we do have a close relationship, or we should have a close relationship, or we should be progressing towards a close relationship with you. And if anything, if anybody, if any being that we should trust with steering our lives and getting us to our destination safely and soundly and healthily and in a healthy fashion and in a wealthy fashion, it should be you, Lord. So let us work on our spiritual selves, work on our faith, and work on our mental strength and our emotional strength, and also our physical strength and financial strength as well, Lord. And to not work on our strengths overall, to not worry about the things that we are lacking, and be bigger than our problems, because you are bigger than everything. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Lame Nello versus Eubank as we started. Technique said Canelo will batter Eubank. Man, Lomachenko can retire happy. He had a great career, even though he was brutally robbed many times. Many times. I disagree with that. Pray for my lungs. They get through this full cardio workout in my heart. I pray that Smoochie workouts goes great, and she obtains her workout goals, her fitness goals, and gets through it. That her lungs and the respiratory system and her body as a whole be blessed, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Your heart, everything, your cardiac, you know what I'm saying? Get that cardio in. So we're going to start off with Canelo. All right, we're going to start off with my boy Cinnamon, man. Now, Cinnamon fighting Chris Eubank. Like I said, this is just preliminary talks, right? So it's nothing serious, right? It's nothing like concrete. It's nothing that is definitively going to happen. But to me, it's a little worrisome because, like I said, for people that are hearing this for the first time, then it's no problem because you hear about everybody. Everybody's going to fight, you know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is going to fight, and then that might still be called off, and that's scheduled with a venue and a platform, at Netflix. So nothing is definitive in boxing. I'm saying, like, everybody's going to fight each other. Hell, one time Ronda Rousey, everybody thought Ronda Rousey and Floyd Mayweather were going to fight, so that talks don't mean anything, preliminary talks. However, for those of you that pay attention to the channel and keep up, we've talked about this for a while, that Chris Eubank was actually a sought after target before. He was sought after before by Team Cinnamon, and before he settled with Berlanga. They were in talks, and apparently, according to Chris Eubank Jr., he's the one that turned it down. So it wasn't like Cinnamon turned his back on Eubank. Eubank said, hey, man, I don't have enough time to prepare adequately for me to fight you, which I don't think there's any preparation in the world. There's enough preparation in the world to get Eubank in a position where he will perform well against Canelo. However, I respect it because that lets me know that he's not just looking for the money. As much as we talk trash about Chris Eubank Jr., he is a respectable fighter, which he is, all jokes aside, and I commend anybody who's giving them the best opportunity to put their best foot forward, even if it doesn't result in a win. Even if you lose, you still want to give your best performance. So I salute him for that, because same with Rayo. When Rayo was approached by Tank, he's like, hold on, him and his team, they're like, hold on, man, I can't fight you by December because I just came off of a 12-round fight with Isa Pitbull Cruz. I have to get some time to adequately prepare for you. Even though still I don't think Rayo can prepare, and there's enough preparation in the world for Rayo to beat Gervonta, but still you want to put your best foot forward. And as a fighter, as anybody that's confident in themselves, you want to believe that you could achieve even when it seems impossible, right? Because impossible is nothing, according to the Nike commercial. So I think with Chris Eubank, I think this could seriously happen. We've seen Canelo go to Japan. A lot of people are, he wants to fight in Japan. Well, he had a fighter that just fought in Japan, so he was there supporting him. But that doesn't mean that he's not scoping out the venues and meeting the appropriate people to eventually put a fight there have one of those places host his fight, you know, and of course has a familiarity with England already and stuff like that, you know, fighting English fighters, being in cahoots with Eddie Hearn and all this stuff. So, you know, unfortunately, man, for us, I think that this fight could potentially happen. I mean, who else do you want in the fight anyway? You know, if he was going to fight Chris Eubank Jr., this would be the perfect time to do it, because does anybody believe Christian and Billy could beat him? Does anybody think Christian and Billy is in a position to where, yes, he's in a position to where that fight is justifiable, right? Because he is number one in two sanctioned bodies, I believe, WBC and WBC IBF maybe, but anyway, he definitely WBC, and maybe it's WBC WBA, but he's definitely number one in two sanctioned bodies. Then we have Diego Pacheco, number one in WBO, right? One sanctioned body. Neither one of those fighters are prepared. I don't think, not only, forget preparation, none of those fighters are in demand. Like, nobody really wants to see those fights. People are going to complain. Now, we have a culture of complaining, right? So that doesn't mean anything really. But my point is that if you're going to fight people in your division and people are going to complain anyway, you might as well fight Chris Eubank right now, because people are going to complain anyway, you know, similar to Gervonta, right? People like to complain because he's fighting Lamont Roach, but they conveniently omit, and they conveniently disregard, and they conveniently dismiss that he tried to fight Lomachenko, who's a unified champion right now, right? Which we're going to get to a little later. But Lomachenko didn't want to fight him, and that's okay. But that's what he tried to fight. Then he tried to pivot to Rayo, and Rayo didn't want to fight because, like I say, he said he wasn't, the time period that was allotted to him wouldn't be a sufficient amount of time for him to prepare for a take, and I'm cool with that, you know, because you have to have confidence in yourself. And then so then he tried to go to Edward De Los Santos. De Los Santos was injured. People would have complained about De Los Santos anyway because he already lost to Shakur. That's what people would have said, because when Shakur fought Artem Harutyunyan, people said, oh, Shakur's fighting Frank Martin scraps, because Frank Martin was gave Artem his first loss and his only loss up until that point. So people would say that anyway. So then that was a third option, and then he went to Lamont Roach, who's a champion, a WBA champion. You know, he's bringing him up so people don't like it, even though he's a champion. He's not coming off a loser streak, even though Lomachenko brought up plenty of champions. But anyway, you know, so and that's what Canelo would be doing again, because he did it for Jamel Charlo as well when he brought him up. So I think that if people are going to complain, then you might as well fight who you want. You know, there's really essentially nobody out there that Tank could have fought, and Cinnamon's in a similar position. Like, there's nobody that he could fight that will spark interest that people won't complain about besides Benavidez. Well, Benavidez is not even in his division anymore. Benavidez is at 175, and he's fighting David Morrell. So not only can Canelo not fight David Benavidez, which I don't think he would have fought him anyway, even though, too much of my dismay, I want that fight, but I don't think he would have fought David, you know, Dave Morrell or David Benavidez. So it's like, you know, and then Bivol didn't win the Undisputed Championship, so, you know, he wanted to fight potentially Bivol for a rematch and another shot at a shot at Undisputed Dominance at 175. So that fell through, and I don't anticipate him to fight Beterbiev, which would be, if he does, I'd be very shocked, but I don't even think that's a good fight for him anyway. But yeah, I think that now is the time to fight Chris Eubank. I don't want it, but it is what it is. We got my boy Dub in the building, big member in the building. So like, I don't really, he said Eubank is worse than Munguia Berlanga. I'd rather see three-piece with one hand than Billy. Yeah, I agree. I do think Chris Eubank is the worst of the options. However, like I said, nobody outside of Canada will believe that Chris Eubank has nobody outside of Canada will believe Christian and Billy could beat Canelo, you know, and nobody will be interested in him. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really knows him, you know. If you say Christian, here go my boy Dub. If you go outside and walk in the mall and say, hey, do you know who Christian and Billy is? They're gonna say,
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
These are facts, bro. Am I lying, Oscar? Canelo sees Eubank as weak prey, easy pay. Yep, exactly. And not only that, he also sees him as an opportunity to even further expand his popularity, you know, in another country, in the UK. And like I said, I don't like it, but you know I like Canelo, but that has nothing to do with it, really. I know it's gonna sound bad, but I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. Yeah, Christian and Billy is a number one ranked fighter in WBC and WBA. So let's think about the top guys that we would see that we would be okay with Cinnamon fighting. Jamal Charlo. Well, Jamal Charlo, he's locked up with Thomas Cornflake Lamana on December 14th, if that fight date actually comes through. let's say Christian and Billy, nobody knows him, even though he's #1 ranked. Nobody knows him. Diego Pacheco, nobody knows him, and even if they do know him, nobody thinks that he could beat Canelo. Jaime Munguia, he already beat him. Caleb Plant, he already beat him. You know, I would be interested in the rematch, but I think Caleb Plant has to beat more than Trevor McCumbee in order to convince me that Caleb Plant will have a chance. David Benavidez, he's not in 168 anymore. He's at 175, and he's fighting David Morrell. David Morrell, similar to David Benavidez, he's not in 168 anymore. He's at 175, and he's fighting David Morrell. William Skull, nobody knows him. I don't know how many people watched. William Skull is a title holder of the IBF, but how many people actually watched William Skull versus Vladimir Shishkin? We watched it. I watched it, you know, but how many people really watched it? You know, nobody really knows a Cuban fighter. Once again, if you go into the mall and you say, who is William Skull, they're going to say,
who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
So, I mean, you know, Sergey Gervonta, he's older, and he just lost to Christian and Billy. You know, Eric Bazinian, he was undefeated till he lost to Jaime Munguia. You know, Edgar Berlanga, well, Canelo already beat him, and nobody wants to see that rematch. So it's just, there's really like nobody for him to fight. So if he fights Chris Eubank, to be fair, Chris Eubank is probably the most damn sure the most popular fighter of everybody I just named. So does Chris Eubank deserve it? I mean, why not? I'm not gonna say he doesn't deserve it. I don't know. You deserve what you could get. This is life. I don't know, like, this whole notion that of course we say that, like, oh, he doesn't deserve it because he's not in a mandatory position, he's not in his division, nobody knows he's not a title holder. He's a boxer with a big name. Sounds like he deserves it to me. Do I want it? No, I do not want this fight at all. This fight is trash. But does he deserve it? You deserve whatever you can get in this life, homeboy. So if he can get it, he deserves it. But that don't mean I have to like it. I think it's trash. I think this would probably be arguably one of the worst fights this year. And I'm not even exaggerating. If this fight, well, it probably won't happen this year. It'll happen in May. But this would probably be, if it did happen this year, this would probably be the worst fight of the year. As far as matchups go, you know, I mean, Chris Eubank is 154, 160. Sometimes he fights at 154. He was just talking about fighting Conor Benn. That fight would have probably took place at 154, maybe even 160, 154. You know, but I think his last fight, Chris Eubank's his last fight was at 160, but he fluctuates between 154 and 160. So I essentially see him as a 154 guy still, but he was just at 160, and yeah, I think that this fight is terrible. As much as I like Cinnamon, I don't like it, but at the same time, maybe because I like Cinnamon, I understand it. You know, I understand it. This is the perfect time to fight him. If you was ever going to fight Chris Eubank Jr., this would be the time. Fighting zombies the last 2-3 years. Oscar, he said, if people keep paying for Canelo for these exhibitions, their fault. That's a fact. I agree, Dub. I agree. Eubank is worse than Munguia. Yeah, he's worse than, and I would say Munguia, and like I said, I thought Munguia was a good fight. I know people didn't like it because whoever Canelo fights is not Dave Benavidez. Like I say this all the time. I sound like a broken record, but whoever Canelo fights is not Dave Benavidez. People are going to be disappointed, and naturally so. Like I will be too, but at the same time, that shouldn't handicap our ability to recognize fighters as good. And Jaime Munguia is good. I almost called him Jamie. Jaime Munguia is good. You know, you don't get 45 wins and only 1 loss without being good. You know, I don't care if you are fighting quote unquote tomato cans. That's still 45 bodies that you put down. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I could name some solid opponents that he beat. Takeshi Inoue, Sergey Derevchenko, John Gorilla Ryder, a common opponent between him and Canelo. Gabriel Rosado, who's a well-known journeyman, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing. So, you know, now he just beat Eric Bazinian most recently. So Jaime Munguia is a good, formidable fighter. So there was no shame in that. I think if you actually watch boxing, then you respect that fight. But at the same time, if you watch boxing, you know that he could have fought Dave Benavidez, and that's what's going to be disappointing. But I think you could be disappointed and still appreciative simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? It's like when someone gives you a gift, right? That's like, you know, shout out to Dr. Serene or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use her because she's a woman. You know, you know what I'm talking about? Don't be walking around giving me no gifts, Dub. I have to pull up on you. Not just playing. That's like somebody in the chat giving me a gift, right? And let's say it's some socks. They told me, hey, you know, hey Doc, I'm gonna give you a gift. And like, you gonna love it. You gonna love it. It's gonna be so dope. You gonna love this gift. And then you come and give it to me, and it's some socks. Don't disrespect the socks. I'm like, hey, I appreciate it, but you done hyped it up. I thought it was gonna be like a, I don't know, I don't know. Let's stay in the same shoes, maybe some shoes. I don't know, you know, stay in the same foot realm. Maybe some shoes or something. I got some socks. I'm still gonna be appreciative, but I'm still gonna be disappointed. Yeah, no Diddy. Facts. Facts, though. No Diddy.
No Diddy.
Well, yeah. So like you could be disappointed and still appreciative. So the correlation I was making is that Canelo fighting Jaime Munguia, if you know boxing, that was a good fight. Was it? But I'm still disappointed because I think Canelo and Benavidez, El Monstro, is the best fight. I still want that fight, you know, but it doesn't mean that anybody that's not Benavidez is trash. You know, 2-4 in the building. We got Just Do in the building. You got Technique in the building. I would be hyped for socks. That's what's up. I'm gonna get you some socks. Funky ass feet. We got Jeffrey in the building. Mayweather will fight Canelo. Nah, I mean a mature Canelo. Is there any chance he could beat Floyd? I mean Mayweather is old, right? So nah, not right now. Is there a chance that Canelo could beat Floyd? Yeah. Now you talk about going back in time, where you saying the Canelo, the Floyd that fought Canelo, if he fought the Canelo now, nah. As much as I like Floyd, I think Floyd is the GOAT. I say Floyd will win because I think Floyd will beat anybody. He'll figure it out. But I mean, the odds were not in his favor. You got to understand that when Canelo fought Floyd, they fought at a catchweight, right? At 152 or something like that, or 154. Maybe it was at 154. It was either at 154 or catchweight at 152. I don't quite remember. Somebody tell me in the chat. But either way, that was a Canelo that was not only young, he was also young and inexperienced, and he was never at 168 yet, or definitely not 175. So it was a different Canelo. Do I think Floyd would win? Yeah, because I'm a little you know, that's me rock with who I consider the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But I like Cinnamon a lot too. He's a legend in my opinion too. Those are two of some of my favorite fighters right there. So common sense would say no, Canelo would win right now. But sometimes when you're great, you go beyond. You eclipse common sense. You know, there's nothing common about greatness. You know what I'm saying? So who would have thought that a 45-year-old George Foreman would come back and do what he did to Michael Moore? Who would have thought that a 51-year-old a 49-year-old, B-Hop would beat Kelly Pavlik? Who would have thought a 51-year-old would go in against Joe Smith and be arguably the favorite? Even though he got knocked on his ass and put out the ring, you know, he was still arguably the favorite at 51 years old. So things happen beyond our predictions or our guesses, hypothesis, you know, well, our guesses, whether it's educated or not, 'cause that's what a hypothesis is, right? An educated guess. So whether your guess is educated or not, sometimes it goes beyond what our thought process is, right? Like common sense will say Jake Paul will beat Mike Tyson. Would anybody be surprised if Mike Tyson comes out and hits him with a quick one and puts him to sleep? Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, the Floyd that fight young Canelo, yeah, I think that it's hard to go with Floyd, but like I said, I think Floyd, his reputation precedes him, so I think Floyd will figure it out. Because Floyd is I don't think there's a smarter fighter in the ring than Floyd Mayweather. So if anybody can figure it out, it's him. But I think common sense would go with Canelo. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. What's good, Illuminati? I understand what you're saying, Jeffrey. That was a good question. Canelo fighting Jake Paul type, so we not going. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris, that's the thing, Dub. I agree with you, but I gotta give Chris Eubank a little bit more credit than that. Chris Eubank's not a bad fighter, but of course, when you're Canelo, to be honest, as much as I like Jermell Charlo, anybody who watches boxing, again, they wanted to see Big Charlo. I think I can speak for the educated boxing community, you know what I'm saying, the common sense boxing community, when we say that nobody wanted to see Jermell Charlo versus Canelo, undisputed versus undisputed or not. You know, if we want to see Charlo, it was Big Charlo, and I still want to see Big Charlo versus him. Are we going to be okay with it? Yeah, because it's Canelo, you know, and it's Jermell Charlo. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think at that time, Jermell Charlo only had one loss, and that one loss he avenged against Tony Harrison, you know what I'm saying? So I think that you got to give these champions, you know, the benefit of the doubt. But, you know, common sense would say that was a bad fight. That's one of the cases where common sense was correct. You know, Canelo touched him one time, and you ain't want no more pressure. So, you know, I can't blame him. You know, get that get that piggy bank. You know, get that money, get that bank, get that paper. My cousin put money on Tyson KO. I can't do it. Yeah, it's hard to do, man. But yeah, so I would say I'm not defending. I know it's gonna sound like I'm defending Cinnamon. Well, I don't know if you really listen to me. I don't think it does, but it may seem like I'm defending Cinnamon because I'm not. I think this fight is trash. But at this point in time, this particular point in time, if you were ever going to accept Cinnamon versus Chris Eubank, this is the time to do it, because like I said, there's literally nobody you could fight. David, we got some David on David crime that's about to transpire imminently at the top of next year, you know what I'm saying, with David Benavidez fighting David Morrell. So that's not available, and they're not even, neither one of them are in this division. I'm gonna run back through it again. You know, you got Christian and Billy, who's number one in two section of bodies, WBC, WBA, but nobody knows them outside of Canada, knows him inside of Canada. Diego Pacheco, he's a number one for WBO. Nobody believes that he can win. They're both too young, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even going from a deserving standpoint, because when you're number one, I don't care what people say. You deserve that shot, and you deserve anything you could get and negotiate. But nobody will believe that they have a possibility to win. William Skull, well, I don't think anybody's interested in that, because nobody was mad that the IBF stripped or Canelo voluntarily vacated the IBF belt in order to not fight William Skull, because nobody knows him. You know, the Cuban fighter who just beat Vladimir Shishkin, and that was controversial, right? And Vladimir Shishkin took him to court because of the controversial decision, because, you know, we be gangbanging on going to court and using the systems that's implemented for fighters to use to reprimand any injustice that they feel was served during their fight. Vladimir Shishkin, no one's going to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? But Vladimir Shishkin is actually going to court to protest, to officially protest his loss against William Skull. Oh, okay. I'm just throwing that out there because it does happen. You know, a lot of people don't like to talk about it. We gonna talk about it because we actually watch boxing. You know what I'm saying? So Vladimir Shishkin, let me say that again for those in the back. Vladimir Shishkin, who lost to William Skull for Canelo's vacant IBF title, is taking William Skull to court because he doesn't agree with the law. Something Lomachenko did against Devin Haney. No one talks about that. Something what's his name? Artem Dalakian did when he lost to Kosei Tanaka. Seigo Akui, excuse me. Something else that Steve Cunningham did took Antonio Tarver to court when he came back with PEDs during their draw in their fight years ago. You know, he took Antonio Tarver to court for having PEDs in the system. No one talks about that. Same thing Miguel Cotto tried to do when he tried to ban Antonio Margarito before he had the rematch and rectified his loss or got his get back. You know, I mean, going to court is not something that's foreign to boxing. You know, I'm not saying that you have to agree with it, but let's not act like Devin Haney is trailblazing the activity or the action of taking fighters to court, because it happens all the time. You may not pay attention to it, but it does happen. So I'm not defending Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? I'm just defending boxing and the truth, what actually happens. You know, so if we're going to gangbang against one person doing it, then we should gangbang against them all. So only black folks have to be real. Yeah, facts. Talk to him, Cool Breeze. Say it again. Say it again, Cool Breeze. Only black folks have to be real. Exactly.
Yeah.
Facts. That joke is crazy. That joke is crazy to me, man. So I'm not saying that you can't have your opinion. I'm not saying that that's all it took. You know, shout out to my boy Just Do. He was talking about he gave a good angle on it yesterday. I was in your stream when you was yelling at somebody. I said, look at my boy Just. Who done turned my boy up? I don't know who it was, but I was doing something and then I overheard that part. My boy was like, y'all soft. And then I guess someone said it. He was like, yeah, you know how to spell it. 1 syllable, 4-letter word, soft. My boy said it like he was pronunciating every letter of that word. Boy, I don't know if it was 1 syllable no more. Boy, that just about to be spelled with 16 letters and 18 syllables. Boy, was that soft? And so, but no, I agree with of course we all have our different opinions, and I'm not invalidating anybody. I don't have the authority to invalidate anybody's opinion. So we all have it, and we should. But I think when people come at, that's the thing about boxing, and this is why I talk about us, man. When I'm specifically talking about American boxing community now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to every boxing community, the boxing community as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Well, whether you're from Africa, Europe, or Asia, or otherwise, or South America, or otherwise, but American boxing, man, like, we be against each other so much, bro, and even more specifically, our black brothers and sisters. It's like, but that's what happens, because if you like Gervonta, you can't like Devin Haney. If you like Devin Haney, you can't like Shakur. If you like Shakur, you can't like such and such, you know. And I think that we do that so much is that, like I said, I bet money on Ryan Garcia to beat Devin Haney, but I love boxing first. I'm not okay with anybody cheating, because that degrades and diminishes the integrity of the sport. So anybody cheating in any way, shape, form, or fashion, or any capacity, to me, it's a no-go. You know, so, but people, like, I'm gonna use Devin Haney's fans as an example. Everybody's fans do it. Tank's fans, Devin Haney's fans, Canelo fans, Inoue fans, everybody's fans do it. But like the hardcore, the ridiculous ones. But Devin Haney, like, his fans would say something like, you know, just stuff that they said in the past, and it seems like it's coming back to bite them, and they'll say this and make this up. So when you want to speak up for him, it makes, not even for him, like I said, for boxing, it makes it kind of hard to do, because people will say something ridiculous. Like, for example, I saw somebody say that, what did they say? I can't even remember it verbatim now. Hold on, give me a second. Let me think. They said that, what did they say, bro? They said Devin Haney. That's what it was. Okay, it was a weight bullying thing, which I think. So I have different perspectives on things. Like Devin Haney is a weight bully. I say that all the time. David Benavidez is also a weight bully. Virgil Ortiz is also a weight bully. To me, weight bullying is not necessarily negative. It's not a good thing, but it's not. I'm not saying that in a way to say that you're cheating. It's to me, it's taking advantage of a situation that the system allows. You know what I'm saying? You're making it as advantageous for you as you can. Now, do I think that it's weak? Yeah, I think it's weak because I think you're looking for an unfair advantage. And to be fair, Emmanuel Navarrete kind of does the same thing. You know. Kind of blows up, you know. Janabek obviously is a weight bully. He's such a weight bully that he passed out trying to make weight at 160 in his first fight with Andre Mikhailovich, which is why it was postponed. So is it illegal? No. So I don't want to compare. But when people say that he doesn't do it, then you want to say, oh, okay, your rebuttal, naturally impulsive rebuttal will be, well, you know, well, that's like cheating. You know what I'm saying? And I think that. I don't think that's cheating. I think it's having an advantage. Every tactical advantage is not cheating. You know what I'm saying? So like when he came in against Regis Prograis at 165, this person said, "Oh yeah, he came in. That's not cheating because Regis Prograis came in at 150." Bitch, he came in. Devin Haney came in as Canelo, as far as weight goes. You know what I'm saying? You can't change that. That's by design, and so you have to acknowledge that. And I'm gonna tell you, I live and breathe this, bro. I practice what I preach. The reason why, and this is what Just said, and I've said this 1,000 times, and I agree with this 100%, which is why I put money on Ryan Garcia. The reason why I was so confident in putting money on Ryan Garcia is because Ryan Garcia was the first person that he fought in years that is a similar age to him, that's a similar size to him, if not bigger, and is just as fast and strong as him. He can't bully him around. He famously says, "Oh, Lomachenko, what you gonna do? You too small. Kambosos, what you gonna do? You too small." So he's literally saying that he fights people that are too small for him in natural. I don't want to say natural because, like I said, it's not cheating, but in normal circumstances, you wouldn't be 20-something pounds heavier than the weight limit. You know what I'm saying? So that is a fact. But that's, to me, that's not the same as cheating. So like the part that I would push back on is when people say that Ryan Garcia did the same thing. Well, I have to give Devin Haney his credit as well, because Devin Haney is a consummate professional. He's not like David Benavidez, who has missed weight before. Devin Haney never misses weight, so we have to give him that as well. You know, yes, he uses it to his advantage, but he does it in a lawful, legal manner. You know what I'm saying? He comes in at 140, he kills himself, he makes weight, and then he blows up. So I feel like it's important to say that too, and not put him in there with Ryan Garcia, he literally never fought at 140, because against Oscar Duarte, he came in heavy at 143. Against Devin Haney, he came in heavy again at 143. This is documented facts. So when you don't make a weight, those last 3 pounds, like I don't know if anybody's ever boxed before. I only boxed at the amateur level, but it's always harder to lose that last 1, 2, 3, or even half a pound. You know what I'm saying? And I actually fought at 142. It was coincidental, but anyway, it's always harder to lose those last 3 pounds. So yes, it may seem like it's only 3 pounds, and it may seem easy to put them in the same pot, but it's different because Ryan Garcia is not making the weight at all. You know what I'm saying? He's dropping down, and he's not going that extra length in order to force that extra sacrifice, so he doesn't have to recuperate as much. So it's even easier for him to even blow up more, you know what I'm saying, afterwards, because he didn't go to the weight limit. So yes, they both blew up, but it was easier, more comfortable for Ryan Garcia to do, not even to mention with the PEDs. It was easier for him to blow up as much as they both blew up, you know what I'm saying? So But then again, where it's hard to make this defense for him is because, like I said, I'm not defending Devin Haney. I'm just telling the truth on boxing. But when Gervonta Tank Davis, these same people that talk about blowing up doesn't matter or whatever doesn't matter because they're Haney meat eaters. You know, no disrespect. I should have said that. I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. Because they're Haney lovers. They're Haney lovers. Hold on. Yeah, no Diddy.
No Diddy.
The reason why it's hard to even say this part is because, let's go to Gervonta. They will say that Ryan Garcia came in heavy, but then get mad at Gervonta for having rehydration clauses, the same rehydration clauses that in other worlds and other sanctioned bodies you'll be okay with. I love the fact that IBF has a 10-pound rehydration limit. You cannot, that threshold that you cannot exceed the morning of the weigh-in. If it was up to me, you'd have to weigh in and meet the weight limit the day of the fight, but they can't do that because logistically, then that will put that'll make people lose too much money, you know what I'm saying, from the events being called off because a lot of people wouldn't make weight, you know what I'm saying? So that is, you can't say that people shouldn't be allowed to come in heavy, but then get mad at the people when they implement a rehydration clause to limit people from coming in excessively heavy. You see how it's contradictory. So that's why the Haiti fans make it hard for me, somebody like me who, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I like Tank more than, I think Tank beats, you know what I'm saying, I think Tank and Canelo are my two favorite fighters right now. So it may seem like I'm defending him, but I'm not even defending Tank. I'm just saying what it is. Like, people say, oh, he put a rehydration clause on Ryan Garcia. No, he actually gave him an extra pound because they fought at 136. Ryan Garcia decided voluntarily that he wanted to fight at 135. Your fat ass can't make 135, go up to 140. Your fat ass can't make 140, go to 147, and so on and so forth. So no one could force you to fight in a division. If you fight in that division and I say, oh, well, I'm gonna give you at 136, how does it look like how is it that I'm weight draining you? You decided to fight at 135, not me. So I gave you an extra pound. You should be thankful to me. But that's the thing. And guess who says that he weight drained Ryan Garcia? The majority of the Haney fans. You know, that's why it's like, but I don't get into it because I like Haney. I like well, I don't really care for Haney. I don't dislike Haney. I like Tank. I like Shakur. I like Tank the most. I like Teofimo up until he started talking that crazy stuff where you need to get smacked in his mouth. But yeah, I just think that you can just tell the whole story. Like, people feel compelled to pick a side, bro. It's like I don't get it, man. Nobody told that well to blow up the super middleweight in between fights. Right, I agree. Devay is such a good kid, but I don't know why I still can't stand him. I don't. He's easy to hate on. I don't know. I don't know if he's, like I said, everybody likes what they like and dislike what they dislike, you know. So I can tell you why I didn't really like him, because I've always noticed that he does that he comes in super heavy and he tries to take advantage of his size. And for me, I don't really like when fighters do that. Like when Adrian Broner, even though he came in heavy against, was it Vincent Escobedo? Yeah, Vicente Escobedo. I didn't like that, you know. And he had Vincent Escobedo, you know, he out there crying, talk about you know, he had to take this fight, you know, because he needs the money for his family. He just had a newborn out there, grown man crying, man. It ain't Adrian Broner's fault he's crying. Ain't Adrian Broner's fault he's in that position. But he knew he was going to take it. He wanted to have the biggest advantage he can. So I never really cared for people coming in excessively overweight as an advantage. So that's why I didn't really care for Devin Haney like that. And I feel like they be capping a lot, you know what I'm saying? But I don't hate them, you know what I'm saying? I don't want them to lose by any means necessary. Like some people, like I always say this, I think that if Ryan Garcia would have came in with a machete, people would have been okay with it and beat Devin Haney. Like, to me, that's ridiculous. Like, I like boxing first, you know what I'm saying? And wrong is wrong. I don't care how significant you think that the PED was or insignificant the PED was. That doesn't matter. When you have a PED in your system, PED stands for performance enhancing drug. It's a drug that enhances your performance. So no matter how good or bad you do, you did better with the performance enhancing drug in your system because it enhances your performance. There's nothing else to talk about. They should weigh fighters a week before the fight, a day before the fight, and before they walk in the ring. I agree 1,000%, Verano. I think it should be the day of. Tank was a better fighter against Ryan, and Ryan versus Devin was a good fight. Only thing is Ryan cheated by you. Exactly. Like I said, I get tired. This junk gets overwhelming. Like it annoys me. But if we talk about it, yeah, I think, like I said, I put money on Ryan Garcia. I won money on Ryan Garcia, but I didn't anticipate him to use PEDs. And once you use PEDs, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You cheated. I don't care what the result is. And it wasn't Devin Haney that even took him to court. It was the New York State Athletic Commission. They're the ones that determined that Ryan Garcia cheated and overturned the victory, but for some reason they blame it on Devin Haney. It's like with Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis had a banned substance. Notice I said banned substance, not a PED, because there's nothing about marijuana that's performance enhancing, but it was a banned substance in the state of Texas. State of Texas is the location of the venue where Keyshawn Davis fought Nahir Albright. Keyshawn Davis beat Nahir Albright. What happened? Matter of fact, let's pull it up right now, so y'all don't think I'm capping. You know what I'm saying? I earned everything I talk about, you know what I'm saying? I earned all the confidence that you have in me, but still, I'm gonna push that envelope even further. Keyshawn Davis fought Nahir Albright. He beat Nahir Albright. Why do you think he has a no contest here? Do you think it's because Nahir Albright contested or protested? Do you think that Nahir Albright took him to court? No. It got changed to no contest by the Texas State Athletic Commission because, according to the Texas State Athletic Commission, you cannot have marijuana in your system during the course of a fight. Keyshawn Davis tested positive for marijuana. The win was overturned to a no contest. Just like Devin Haney. Devin Haney, like there's a misconception from ignorant bitches just going around spreading fake news. This is why we are so lost as not just a boxing community, but even in the world as a society as a whole. We get so lost because people, unbeknownst to them or intentionally, I don't know at this point, they go around spreading fake news.
If you out here getting fake vagina over your fake jury, reality is reality.
The majority, I can't tell you how many times I see people say the win was overturned because Devin Haney was complaining. No, it wasn't. It was overturned because he had PEDs in the system during the night of the fight. Just like Keyshawn Davis, who had marijuana, which is not even a PED, it's a banned substance, was overturned because in Texas, you cannot have marijuana in your system during the night of the fight. And when they tested him, he had marijuana in his system. So his win over Nahir Albright was overturned to a no contest. It's not even a PED. So therefore, I'm telling you, it doesn't even have to be a PED for you to get the decision overturned. Meaning, you know what that means? That means that when you say, oh, the PED wasn't significant enough, it doesn't matter how significant it is, as long as it's on the banned substance list in that state, it gets overturned. They don't care about how significant it is. They don't care if you won. They don't care if you lost. They don't care about none of that. Now, if you lost, they're not going to overturn it because it doesn't matter. But if you win, they're going to overturn it. Because it doesn't matter even if it enhances you or not. It's the fact that it's a banned substance on that list. And every PED is a banned substance in the New York State Athletic Commission. That's why it was overturned. It had nothing to do with Devin Haney complaining. So anytime somebody says that, you should just tell them, tell them that the doc said that. Tell them Doc said this. Tell him that Doc said,
Shut up, bitch! Oh my God!
Every content creator that blames Devin Haney for Ryan Garcia's win getting overturned, tell them that they're stupid. Tell them, if you don't want to say it, tell them that Doc said that you're stupid. You stupid. You stupid. Like this is readily available. All this documentation, the same way that I know, you can know. Just Google something. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what else to say. So everybody spreading that misinformation, you are part of the problem, and you stupid. Because if you care enough to talk about it, then you should care enough to be educated on it. So if you don't care enough to be educated on it, then you should also shut the fuck up. You cannot not care enough to be lost, you know what I'm saying, or be oblivious about the topic, but then also care enough simultaneously to talk about it. That doesn't make sense. It's crazy, bro. You don't care enough to know the truth, but you care enough to talk about it. That's how lies get spread, bro. Mr. Dawkins don't smoke this, bro. I'm telling you, every content creator, every person. And I just watched the interview today. I don't remember the dude's name. Thank God, it was a Hispanic brother. He said he was defending Devin Haney, which, like I said, I don't care. I care about boxing. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is the truth, and it'll set you free. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I talk about this, I'm not saying it coming from a stance or a perspective of defending Devin Haney. It's not about or knocking Ryan Garcia. If I wanted to knock Ryan Garcia, I'll talk about all the racist epithets that he used and all the racial slurs that he used, you know, to demonstrate his lack of integrity and his poor character as a human being. But I'm talking about in the realm of boxing, you know, he had PEDs in the system, whether it was unbeknownst to him or not, whether it was intentional or not, whether he did it himself, whether his mama did it, his auntie did it, or his cat. He got it out of his cat litter box. It doesn't matter how he got it in his system. It's in his system. As a professional, responsible athlete, you are held accountable for everything that's in your body during competition. That's how it goes. It's part of being an adult. That word accountability. Get some. So anyway, so the point that I'm making is that it doesn't matter why it was there. It doesn't even matter the amount. The fact that it's detectable, it does matter the amount. It matters if it's above the threshold, which is 0.01 for Austrian, 0.01 nanograms per milliliter. He came in at 0.6 nanograms per milliliter, which is, was it 0.6 or 6? I don't remember. The threshold is 0.1. If the threshold is 0.1, then that means he came in at 6 nanograms per milliliter. But if the threshold is 0.01, he came in at 0.6. I know he's 60 times the legal limit. I believe the threshold is 0.1 nanograms per milliliter for Austrian in New York State. And then he came in at 6 nanograms per milliliter. So anytime people say that, oh, it wasn't a significant amount, you try coming in 60 times the legal limit of alcohol while you're driving. See what happens to you. See if you don't end up in jail right beside R. Kelly and Tory Lanez in them and Harvey Weinstein where he should be. so yeah, you try coming 60 times over the limit of anything and tell them, oh well, it's insignificant. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. That's okay. But when you don't know what you're talking about, you shouldn't be talking like you do, because all this stuff is right there. You could look it up if you really cared, you know. So the marijuana made Keyshawn hungry for the win. He got the munchies for the time. I like that. Yeah, he was hungry. So it's just look this stuff up, man, or stop spreading lies. So And back to the other point of Ryan Garcia and the Devin Haney situation, and I don't even know how the hell we got here, bro. But Devin Haney, now, if you don't like the fact that he's suing, that's one thing. You know, okay, it could look bad. But I saw somebody else say that, oh, he's suing for battery just because he lost. Dummy, no. The definition of battery is unlawful physical conduct. Do you think that anybody in combat sports could sue for battery just because you participated? So anybody that lost could sue for battery. So Canelo could sue Floyd Mayweather for battery. That's not how it works, bro. The definition in the judicial system for battery is the unlawful physical contact and harm that results in harm to another person. Emphasis on the unlawful part. The unlawful physical contact that results in bodily harm to another person. If you don't have PEDs in your system, there's nothing unlawful about engaging in a sports competition. In boxing, the unlawful part is when you have an illegal substance in your system, now weaponizing your hands that are already licensed as a weapon. You're enhancing those weapons. Similarly, there's nothing wrong in certain states with having a pistol, but if you put a switch on that pistol, if you put an extended banana clip on that pistol, now that pistol is enhanced, right? You enhance the body of that pistol, right? So think of that extra magazine clip, that elongated clip, that extended clip, or the switch on it, or the hair trigger on it. Think of that as a PED. So he enhanced his weapon. His hand would be the pistol. The PED would be the extended clip. I don't know how else to break it down for you ignorant. Like, I don't know how else to break it down, bro. Like, I don't know if I need a talk show. I don't know if I need a TED talk. I don't know. I don't know, but maybe I need Neil deGrasse Tyson sit beside me, somebody that you think is smart or something that he could verify and validate what I'm saying. Maybe I need a toxicologist. Maybe go get Dr. Pascal Kentz. Maybe I'll sit beside him while I'm saying what I'm saying, and then maybe people will believe me. But it's crazy, bro. There's nothing hard about it at all. Just think without hating. You know what I'm saying? Stop being clouded by hate and emotion like a little bitch, and then you will see all this stuff clearly. There's nothing trivial about it. So back to what I was saying about this guy whose name I don't remember. Thank God, because I'll fry his ass too. A Hispanic dude, it was on YSM Media. He came in there and he said, I'm not saying Ryan Garcia. He was on Devin Haney's side. He said, I think Devin Haney should do what he do, because he was like, oh, I don't want to say too much, which meaning he's not really on Devin Haney's side. But he's just saying that he don't want to say too much because Devin Haney and Bill Haney have been good to him throughout their relationship. So really, what he said, I don't really want to say nothing, meaning that I don't really want to say my true feelings, because if I say what I really feel, then I will somehow, sabotage my relationship with Bill Haney and Devin Haney, and I feel like I'm betraying them. So that's what he said. That was his words. And then he went on to say that, I do think that Devin Haney and Bill Haney, I want to stay out of it, but from observing it, going to court does seem kind of, I'm not sure if you want to do that. But he said, I don't know the full case, but let's say hypothetically Ryan Garcia cheated. What you mean hypothetically? Hypothetically? I'm gonna show you why it's not hypothetical right here. I'm gonna show you why it's not hypothetical right here. This is why it's not hypothetical. I don't know why is it hard, bro? This is right here. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. No contest. That's why it's not hypothetical that he cheated. He would not have got a no contest if the PEDs weren't in the system. It has nothing to do with him going to court. That's a whole nother issue. I mean, it's related, but it's not the same thing. Devin Haney had nothing. He could have complained till the cows came home. He had nothing to do with it getting overturned. It got overturned because a toxicology report, via the urine analysis, detected SARMs in the system, which is why it was overturned to a no contest. Nothing else. There's no hypothetical about it. Ryan Garcia cheated. Why are people still saying, oh, it's shrouded in mystery? There's no mystery, bro.
If you out here getting fake vagina over your fake jury, reality is reality.
I don't know, bro. I really question the intelligence level of some of these people. The mental capacity is crazy. Like, there's no way that some of these bitches got a freaking high school diploma. Like, there's nothing hypothetical about it. You could literally look up the quantitative amount, which could give you a qualitative reference on how much PEDs he had in his system and let you know how significant it is. But you don't want to know how much significant it is. You just want to say, oh, it's insignificant because I don't know how to conceptualize nanograms. So you think when you hear nanograms, which is a billionth of a gram, which is a nanogram, like I say, when you say milligrams, when I tell you go take 500 milligrams of this Advil to cure your headache, nobody says go take 500,000th of a gram to go cure your headache, because people don't talk like that. They call a milligram, which is a thousandth of a gram, they call it a milligram. When you say a billionth of a gram, they call that a nanogram. There's terms for these things. But because the lawyer, who's obviously smarter than some of the goofies that he's fooling, he says billionth of a gram because he knows billionth of a gram sounds a lot more minuscule than a nanogram does to the average person. And you guys are just eating it up. eating it up. If I want to say make milligrams sound small, I'll say thousandth of a gram. But I don't say thousandth of a gram because I don't care about the metrics and I don't care what it really means. A milligram is a thousandth of a gram. They're synonymous. So a nanogram is a billionth of a gram. But I'm gonna say billionth of a gram because I want to make it sound as small as possible and insignificant as possible. People just eating it up because they don't know what a nanogram is. You fucking donkey. Bro, that just be getting on my nerves, bro. I swear, bro, people be talking like they just know, bro. There's no nothing that annoy me more than people just talking like they know something and they don't. And it's so clear that they don't. Oh my God, it's a billionth of a gram. Who the fuck talks like that? Nobody talks like that besides a lawyer who's trying to prove a point in the judicial system. So he's gonna try to use words to manipulate the situation. And you just out there eating it up. Oh yeah, it's only a billionth of a gram. It's only a billion. Have you ever used those terms before in your life? Never used that term before in your life. But all of a sudden it's a billionth of a gram and it's small because you don't know what it means. Fuck out of here, bro. Nobody talks like that, bro. You don't go to the doctor and they prescribe to you a thousandth of a gram. Take three tablets. It's 200,000th of a gram. No one talks like that, bro. They say milligram. Fucking stupid asses. The average human being that you speak of, doc, doesn't comprehend what it means to have illegal substance. That's a fact. But that's okay, Cito. I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. Only God does. But it should be punishable by law. If I was a judge, it would be punishable by law for people to be oblivious on the topic and then talk and argue with other people about it like they are aware of it. That should be criminal, bro, because that's how propaganda starts. That's how controversy starts. That's how conspiracy theories start. Bro, that's how all that stuff starts, bro. A lot of it, bro, I'm telling you that there's two things. What they say in Rush Hour, he said behind any type of big billion-dollar crime is a rich white man. Behind every conspiracy is a dumb, stupid, ignorant motherfucker. You ever see Rush Hour, Cito? You know what I'm talking about. Those of you that watched Rush Hour, I think it was Rush Hour. Yeah, Rush Hour 1 when they found out the one guy what's her name? The Chinese ambassador guy's best friend was behind the crime, who was a white guy. Chris Tucker was like, every time there's a big crime, there's always a rich white man behind it. Every time there's a conspiracy theory, there's a stupid, dumb idiot behind it. I promise you, bro. I promise you, bro. Not saying that the conspiracy can't be right, but somewhere around there's a dumb idiot who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're just loud about it, and people eat it up. I'm telling you, bro. Behind every conspiracy theory, some point, there's an idiot talking stupid stuff. Also, I started to snap out with the metrics. All those people that say Garcia is a kid and he needs help. You need help. You need help for thinking like that. Exactly. So yeah. But yeah, that's enough about this, man. That's all I want to talk about with that. I don't even know how we got from Chris Eubank to Canelo to that. But shout out to no matter what side you're on, man. Whoever you like, it's okay. But just make sure that you're talking correctly and speaking the facts, man. Because if you don't know, Google it, bro. Google's your friend. Google is free. You on the internet, use Google, bro. A lot of these people, they have agendas, man. Like in this day and age, because including myself, people that anybody could deliver information, you know, and distribute information. So now these days it's almost as important, if not more important, for you to not only question the information presented to you, but question the presenter, question the source of the information, because a lot of times people have ulterior motives. They have relationships that they're trying to protect, and they have narratives that they're trying to push. A lot of the misinformation is coming from one channel in particular that tells you, he told you he's friends with Ryan Garcia, and your stupid ass is still listening to him in regards to Ryan Garcia. You're just as dumb. You're just as dumb, if not more dumb, because you're choosing to be like that. Doctor is always out here on that early. Yes, sir. Josue in the building. What's good, brother? I ain't gonna say no name because I'm not knocking. Like I said, I'm not hating on anybody. Get your money and do your thing, because at the same time, you know, I respect anybody from at some level for growing in the realm of content creation, because it's tough. You know what I'm saying? So however you do it, and whatever your integrity and your values, however they align and let you do it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? You know, but what there's a saying that says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If you continuously fall for the same dumb shit, then you just as dumb as the motherfucker that you probably dumber. You know, the blind leading the blind. Your stupid ass. Anyway, but yeah, so but yeah, back to the Canelo thing. There's nothing hypothetical about Ryan Garcia having PEDs in his system, so I don't even know why people still speak like that. But anyway, back to Canelo. I think that I'm not defending Canelo fighting Chris Eubank, but if you're gonna if you are we're ever going to fight Chris Eubank, this would be the time to do it, just because there's nobody else that is a viable threat, you know, at the 168-pound division. So I do think it's a terrible fight. I'll reemphasize that, but you know, that's a silver lining, which ain't too silver. You know, it's a trash fight, but there's not really anybody else, you know. But me as a boxing head, you know, and I think I can speak for the majority of the chat, we would rather him fight Christian and Billy because he's #1 in 2 sanctioned bodies, or Diego Pacheco because he's #1 in a sanctioned body, or Vladimir Shishkin because he's an IBF champion. You could get the undisputed championship again, the undisputed belt. But let's be honest, people will complain about any one of those people I just named, you know, and you can't have an IBF #1 because the IBF #1 is vacant right now. Doc, is Loma ducking boxing? Nah. So let's move on. I want to say this though, chat. I do want to say this though. I want to move on to there, man. And I'm glad you said that, because yeah, it's time to move on now. We talked about that for a while. I want to ask y'all this, chat, and listen very closely to what I'm saying, right? So Lomachenko, listen for the question. Lomachenko is contemplating retirement, right? He said that, and I guess it's gaining a little bit more traction, right? And I was working out this morning, and you know, I listened to boxing interviews and stuff, and to my dismay, Pro Box, in the middle of my set, I was jump roping and I was doing something where I couldn't get to my phone to change it. But Pro Box came on immediately afterwards as a suggested video up next, and it was about Lomachenko retiring, right? And you know, which is cool. You know, Lomachenko retired. I think, like I said, I'm disappointed in him not fighting Tank. I think it's a very convenient time to retire, and I think that he did duck Tank because he's a unified champion. But if he wants to retire, I can't knock that. I think it'll look bad if he doesn't fight Tank and then he comes back and fights somebody else. But if he says, "Hey, I'm done with it," bro, he had a good career in my opinion. He is a Hall of Famer in my opinion. This is what I said. I'm gonna say it again, because by the time I'm done off the topic of Lomachenko, you're going to think I'm dissing him. I'm saying that he's not a good fighter. He is a good fighter. He's a Hall of Famer. He is, I don't know about all-time great. Well, I guess if you're a Hall of Famer, you're all-time great. You know, that's almost synonymous. So he is a Hall of Famer. He's an all-time great. He is a great fighter. Let's get that out the way. He's a great fighter. However, the things that people say and to defend Lomachenko is utterly ridiculous, bro. Now, this is my question to y'all, chat. Gary Allen Russell, right? Gary Allen Russell. He's a good fighter. I think we could say that, right? I think a lot of people would agree. Gary Allen Russell is a good fighter. I'm not asking you if you think he's a Hall of Famer. Have you ever heard anybody say Gary Allen Russell Jr. is a Hall of Fame fighter? Have you ever heard anybody say that, chat? Think about it. Have you ever? I'm not asking you, do you think he is? Listen to my question again. Have you ever heard anybody ever say Gary Allen Russell, including himself? Have you ever heard anybody ever say Gary Allen Russell Jr. is a Hall of Fame fighter? Have you ever heard somebody say that? I'm gonna wait. We're gonna pause right now. I'm gonna sip some water, get my throat right. Pause. Hey, yo.
What do you mean by that?
Hey, yo. The last time I used anything with the metric system was when I was in grad school, especially talk to him in chemistry, and I got my degree in organic. Hey, shout out to you, bro. Big organic chemistry. I hated organic chemistry. I hate that class. 1 and 2. I hated both of them. I hate organic chemistry. That's one thing I do not like chemistry. I do it, you know, I do it well, but I don't like it. Has anybody in the chat ever heard anybody say Gary Allen Russell Jr. is a Hall of Famer? That was not the question, Oscar. I'm going to ask again, because I'm not moving on until somebody answers. Has anybody ever heard... Oh, I should bring up the chat. I forgot. My fault. Has anybody ever heard anybody refer to Gary Allen Russell Jr. as a Hall of Famer? Anthony, is it okay if you're still not answering the question? We're not moving on. Has anybody... This is participation. And don't forget to like the video, by the way, please. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those that like the video already. Don't forget to smash that like button. Has anybody ever heard... I didn't say do you think he's a Hall of Famer. Has anybody ever heard Gary Allen Russell referred to as a Hall of Fame fighter? Oh, hold on now. I like that. Hey, yo. Gary Antoine Russell's a beast, though. Shout out to Gary Antoine Russell, even though he just lost to Alberto Puello in a good fight. No, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Gracias, mi hermano. Gracias, mi hermano. So, all right. So, shout out to Oscar. For everybody else gets an F for participation. Shout out to Oscar, man. Shout out to Oscar, man. Big up to Oscar. Gracias, senor. All right. So, look. Check this out, man. Check this out, bro. I want y'all to listen closely what Chris Algieri's about to say. And think about, and I'm going to break it down to you why he said it.
Salido, and controversially lost to a guy who didn't make weight. Then he beats Gary Antoine Russell. So first of all, he painted the picture, right? You heard what he said. Remember, people were saying that it doesn't matter if you miss weight because Devin Haney does it, right? He just said that Lomachenko lost to Orlando Salido because he didn't make weight. Did you hear what he said? So he gave Lomachenko the provision and gave him the excuse saying he lost because Orlando Salido didn't make weight. But then when people discuss Devin Haney, they say that Ryan Garcia not making weight didn't matter. But look, conveniently, we bring up weight when it's somebody, it was just referencing somebody that we like. And I'm telling you, that's why us as American box fans, we got to stand up. And I know Chris Algieri is American too, but he obviously is in the hand of, he has top rank in his pocket. Because if you watch this whole episode is trash. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm not being nice, bro. Freak that. This whole episode is trash. I like Chris Algieri. I usually like a lot of stuff that he says. What he said was trash too. Of course, Paulo Malignaggi disseminated more trash. But this whole episode was trash anyway. But he just brought up the fact that Orlando Salido didn't make weight. Not that he was on PEDs, not that he did anything illegal. He said he didn't make weight. Once the fight still goes on, that's what we say about Devin Haney, right? The fight still went on, so you should be okay with it. I want to hear nothing about weight. Chris Algieri brought up weight when it came to Lomachenko losing to Orlando Salido. Okay, let's keep it going. I just want to make that's what he was talking about. He gave Lomachenko the excuse of Orlando Salido missing weight. That's why Lomachenko lost. But we don't care about Ryan Garcia missing weight when it comes to Devin Haney. If you don't like Devin Haney, keep it consistent, man. Does weight matter or weight doesn't matter? It can't matter for this person and not matter for this person, or matter for this person and not matter for this person. Let's keep it going. Like Gary Russell, like that, yeah. Gary's a Hall of Fame.
You heard how many times he stuttered? Chat, did you hear how many times he stuttered? He couldn't even say it right. Did you hear what you just said?
Gary's a Hall of Fame. And I remember watching that fight and being like, Gary Antoine Russell.
It's like he had something in his throat.
Yeah.
Lies.
Gary's a Hall of Fame.
Gary's a Hall of Famer. He couldn't even say it straight. I've never in my life heard anybody say Gary Antoine Russell is a Hall of Famer.
Bullshit!
I'm not saying Gary Allen Russell is not a Hall of Famer. I think he is. You know what I'm saying? I think he could be. You know, I never considered it. I never considered it. But I've never heard anybody call Gary Allen Russell Jr. a Hall of Famer until now. And what are they doing now? Their agenda is to say that Lomachenko is a Hall of Fame fighter. That's why they're saying Gary Allen Russell is a Hall of Famer. I've never heard anybody utter those words ever in my life. Ever. But they're saying it now because in order for them to push the narrative that Lomachenko is so great, so untouchable, so invincible, that he fought Gary Allen Russell Jr., who was a Hall of Famer. Even if he is a Hall of Famer, he won a Hall of Famer when he fought him. And you know who else wasn't a Hall of Famer when he fought him? Teofimo. They said he fought everybody. This is what they're saying, Chad. They're saying that he fought everybody. I said, why? Because he fought Teofimo.
Bullshit!
Chad, do we know what Teofimo was at the time Lomachenko fought him? Teofimo was equitable to Brian Norman Jr. when Giovanni Santilla fought him. Teofimo Lopez was a severe underdog. He was an undefeated up-and-coming prospect when he fought Lomachenko. Lomachenko was the heavy favorite. Everybody thought Lomachenko would beat Teofimo, but they're giving him credit like he fought Teofimo today. Teofimo became the takeover after he beat Lomachenko. This is what I said again. He became the takeover after he beat Lomachenko. Teofimo was supposed to be a walk in the park for Lomachenko. So you saying that he fought everybody, he fought all comers? No, he didn't. And if you don't believe me there, why didn't he fight Shakur Stevenson? Shakur Stevenson wore a shirt saying Lomachenko, get from under Bob Arum's protection plan.
Stop Bob Arum. Stop protecting Lomachenko. He called him Duckchenko. I think Duckchenko came from Shakur. Shakur has been calling out Lomachenko for 5 years, but only everybody talks about Shakur calling out Gervonta. That's what Paulie Malignaggi talks about. You would think that everybody's only calling out Gervonta. Nobody wants to fight Lomachenko. In fact, even in the same episode, they say William Zepeda wants to fight everybody. Do you know that Shakur Stevenson almost fought Joe Cordina because William Zepeda didn't want to fight him, and then turned around and said he wasn't fighting this year, and then turned around again? He's doing a whole spin Rooney like Booker T. He spun around again and said, I'm not fighting this year. Spun around again. Let me bring it back. He called out Shakur after his Maxie Hughes fight, called out Shakur again after his Giovanni Cabrera fight. Then when Shakur obliged, he spun around and said, I'm not fighting this year. And then he spun around again, and now he's fighting Tevin Farmer. All that spinning, I think he's Michael Jackson reincarnate. All you got to do is add a he. I think he's Michael Jackson, bro. I ain't gonna lie. All that damn spinning he been doing. Throw a moonwalk on him. He might as well moonwalk too. Put on the glove. Like he MJ out here in these streets. But then they said that this guy is somebody that they believe is being avoided. What? It's bro. This misinformation is crazy, bro. I promise you. Like, I'm not even trying to attack Pro, but I know I'm attacking him right now. I ain't hiding my hands. I ain't throwing the rock and hiding my hands. I'm attacking them right now because it's nonsense. But I'm not doing it because I don't like them. I think pro boxers straight, especially the fights they put on. But we have to tell the truth. And when you're somebody who's supposed to be experts in the field, expert analysis, coming from a truthful standpoint and spreading information in regards to the sport that we love, boxers, especially as being former boxers, former champions, you're working in the capacity of former champions, you owe the listening audience the truth. William Zepeda called out Shakur Stevenson. Shakur obliged, and he didn't fight him. What about that makes you think that he wants to fight all comers? He's literally the mandatory in every sanctioning body. The fact that he's not getting the fight is solely because of him. He's a WBA mandatory. He's a WBC mandatory. WBA meaning that he's the mandatory for Gervonta Tank Davis. WBC meaning he's the mandatory for Shakur Stevenson. IBF meaning he's the mandatory for Lomachenko. WBO meaning he's the mandatory for Dennis Berinchyk. He didn't fight any of them. But they're saying that William Zepeda is being avoided by the champions.
What?
Anyway, this is all said in this one episode. So, Chad, if you don't believe me, go. It takes 10 minutes to see all the bullshit, the bullcrap that they're spewing. Anyway, so then they're saying that Lomachenko is a Hall of Famer because he beat Hall of Famer Gary Allen Russell. I've never heard Gary Allen Russell referred to as a Hall of Famer until now. They're trying to push the narrative that Lomachenko fought all comers, he fought Hall of Famers, and he fought Orlando Salido, who only beat him because he came in overweight. I thought being overweight didn't matter in reference to other fighters. But he only lost to Salido because Salido came in overweight. Not because Salido was a good fighter. Not because Salido was a champion. Not because Lomachenko had a miscalculation and bit off more than he could chew and was very arrogant trying to fight a champion in his second professional fight. And he lost subsequently. Not because none of those things, but because Orlando Salido was overweight. Okay. Cool. The same loss that they try to mysteriously eradicate from Lomachenko's record, right? And try to push him like he was undefeated, right? That same loss. And then he fought Teofimo, right? Who was an underdog. Nobody really knew about him unless you really watched boxing. He was an up-and-coming prospect at that time. And he got upset by Teofimo. Now all of a sudden he fights everybody. What? The same guy that fights everybody that didn't fight Tank most recently? The same, and if you want to say, oh, well, he's old. Okay, that's fine. Let him retire. The same guy that didn't fight Shakur Stevenson for about 4 or 5 years. And that was the easiest fight to facilitate because they're both on the same promotional company, that being Top Rank. That same Lomachenko fought everybody. But then in the same episode, you're mad at Gervonta Tank Davis for not fighting people and saying that Gervonta's only calling him out conveniently because he's old now. No, he's calling him out because he has a belt. I thought that's what we wanted, right? We wanted unifications. The same people that say they want unifications are now mad at Gervonta for calling out Lomachenko for a unification.
What?
Do y'all hear what I'm saying, chat? I don't think y'all listening, but y'all hearing me, but y'all not listening. I promise you, y'all hearing me, meaning you're hearing me, but you're not listening. You're hearing it, it's going in one ear and out the other, but you're not listening as in comprehending. The same people that tell fighters, especially Gervonta Tank Davis and everybody at lightweight, to unify, are now knocking Gervonta Tank Davis for trying to fight Lomachenko in an attempt to unify. they're saying, oh, he's old. You know what's crazy about that? I never heard Pro Box say when Zhale Zhang fought Deontay Wilder, who was, oh, by the way, 38, which is older than Lomachenko. I never heard anybody say, oh, Zhang just wants to fight Deontay Wilder now because he's old. You talking about the same guy and Deontay Wilder that has triple Lomachenko's fights almost, because he has almost 50 fights. Lomachenko has 20 fights. Triple would be 60. Deontay Wilder has 48, 49 fights. So he literally almost has, he's 11 fights from being triple of Lomachenko. He's 11 fights of being triple the amount of fights that Lomachenko has. He's 2 years older than the age Lomachenko is. No one said that Deontay Wilder was old when he got his face splattered by Zhang. No one said he was old when he looked like a punching bag against Joseph Parker. But Lomachenko, who's younger and has a significantly less amount of fights, is old because people want to fight him, even though he just stopped Kambosos, who everybody said was a great win, even though we said Kambosos was a terrible loss for Teofimo, even though we call Kambosos a clown, Kambozo, even though we say he's a tomato can, even though people say he's one of the worst champions. But we clap and applaud for Lomachenko when he stops him. You see, bro, it's just a different rubric, bro. And if you don't believe this, then you just not appreciative of the facts. You don't care about the facts. You're Vinny Blanco in the building. Vinny Blanco in the building. What's good, bro? You're cooking. I appreciate it, bro. I just don't get it. Like, we gonna be consistent or not? And it's only gonna move when we stop accepting the nonsense. It's crazy, bro. Like I said, Gary Allen Russell, I'm not knocking that he's a Hall of Famer, but I've never heard anybody call him a Hall of Famer until you're discussing Lomachenko's resume. As a matter of fact, let's look at Lomachenko's resume. Let's look at this Hall of Fame resume. Who would be his best win, chat? Who would be his best win, chat? I would say probably Guillermo Rigondeaux, right? He brought Guillermo Rigondeaux up. Gary Allen Russell was his third fight. He lost. This is Lomachenko, right? 18-3. You know who else has 3 losses? Blanco. You know who else has 3 losses, Vinny? Regis Prograis. People are telling him to retire. Okay. I'm just saying, it's crazy. But anyway, so he fought Orlando Salido. He lost, split decision, controversial according to them. He beat Gary Allen Russell. That's a great win, man. That fight was great. Soraya Tatakun. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at that win. But is he a Hall of Famer? Do you know him? If I say Soraya Tatakun in the mall, you know what people are going to say? When I say Soraya Tatakun in the mall, they're going to look at me and say, sincerely,
who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? No, damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
But let's get back to his resume. Let's get back to his Hall of Fame resume. He beat Nicholas Axeman Walters. I'm with you. Jamaican badman, so I rock with him. He's Jamaican. I think the way when he no-masked Nicholas Walters, that was a great win, a fantastic win. So that's another great win. So Gary Allen Russell so far, and Nicholas Walters, Axeman. Yes, I agree with you. Cool Breeze. That's a fact. Guillermo Rigondeaux, that's another great win. But what do we say? What do we say about Tank when he fights Lamont Roach? He's bringing him up, right? What do we say about Shakur when he fights Joe Cordina? He's bringing him up, right? What do we say about Canelo if he fights Chris Eubank? He's bringing him up, right? What do we say about Canelo when he brought up Jamel Charlo? He's bringing him up, right? Guillermo Rigondeaux was brought up. Guillermo Rigondeaux was brought up to fight Lomachenko. If you watch that fight, please go watch that fight. If you ever watched that fight, Lomachenko looks like 2 Rigondeaux. Am I lying? He looks like 2 Rigondeaux in that ring. You want to talk about people who are bigger. When Tank fought Leo Santa Cruz, what did we say? He was bringing him up, right? When Lomachenko fought Guillermo Rigondeaux, who I think is probably his best win as far as notability goes and notoriety goes, he brought him up. I mean, if we're going to keep the same energy, we going to keep the same energy, we going to be consistent or not? Boxing Talk family, we going to be consistent or not? I'm just saying. So I like Jorge Linares too. Jorge Linares is a very underrated champion. I think this was a great win. Jorge Linares, because he fought him when he was good, Jose Pedraza, yeah, but Jose Pedraza was after Tank. That's why you see this one loss right here. I know it's kind of small, but do you see this one loss right here by Jose Pedraza? That one loss. Oh, you know who that one loss came to. That one loss came to let me find him. This guy right here, Gervonta Tank Davis. So if that was the other way around, if Lomachenko beat Jose Pedraza, Sniper Pedraza before Tank, we would say Tank got Lomachenko scraps, because that's what we said about Shakur when he fought Artem Harutyunyan. We said he had Frank Martin scraps. I'm just saying, bro. Like, we got to be consistent, bro. That's what we do when we cutting up. I'm just Carver. Tell me I'm lying. Karma, tell me I'm lying. He beat Anthony Crawler. Fuck out of here. Luke Campbell. You know who else beat Luke Campbell? Ryan Garcia. Fuck out of here. Oh, Teofimo. Oh, another good fighter. Oh, he lost that fight. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Jermaine Ortiz, that was a good fight. Jermaine Ortiz almost got blackballed out of boxing for his performance he put against Teofimo. So, and then Devin Haney, the other guy that's probably a Hall of Famer, he lost to him too. So, my question is this: if he's a Hall of Famer, let's say Gary Allen Russell is a Gary Allen Russell. Let's say Gary Allen Russell is a Hall of Famer, right? That's the only one that he beat, because they said Orlando Salido wasn't a good. That's what they said in there. Go listen to it. They said he only won because he was heavy. So that means he's probably not a good fighter, right? They said Gary Allen Russell is a Hall of Famer. I think everybody would say Devin Haney's a Hall of Famer. I think everybody would say Teofimo's a Hall of Famer. Nicholas Axeman Walters, I never heard him called a Hall of Famer. For me, being a Jamaican badman and have a Jamaican in my heritage, part of the Jamaican culture, for me, he's a Hall of Famer. The Axeman's a beast, you know. But is he a Hall of Famer to the masses? I don't know. But we know that Guillermo Rigondeaux's a Hall of Famer. We know Teofimo's a Hall of Famer. Guillermo Rigondeaux, I don't know. His amateur background, you know, that's enough to get him a Hall of Fame. Teofimo, Gary Allen Russell, according to Chris Algier, which I never heard before in my life, but Gary Allen Russell's a Hall of Famer. Guillermo Rigondeaux's a Hall of Famer. Who else? Devin Haney's a Hall of Famer. Teofimo Lopez is a Hall of Famer. So he fought 4 Hall of Famers. He beat 2 of them, and one of them he brought up, Guillermo Rigondeaux, and one of them wasn't even established in Teofimo Lopez until he beat Lomachenko. And the other one, Gary Allen Russell, I never heard anybody call him a Hall of Famer before until today when they were discussing Lomachenko's resume. Never heard him called a Hall of Famer before. So from now on, if they don't refer to Gary Allen Russell as a Hall of Famer, you know when they called him a Hall of Famer when discussing Lomachenko's resume, they were just bull jiving.
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit!
So chat, you heard it here first. According to ProBox, Gary Allen Russell is a Hall of Famer. So every time Gary Allen Russell is discussed, put some respect on his name. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. But what I'm not cool with is all of a sudden people are Hall of Famers because you're ridiculously meat riding a fighter who's retired right now, and you're pushing the narrative because he's with Top Rank. Lomachenko's good. Like I said at the very beginning of this tirade of this rant, the very beginning, Lomachenko is good and he's a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? But when you have to make things up to try to push what you're saying, it kind of looks a little shaky, baby. I just need people to keep the same energy, because if Gary Allen Russell's a Hall of Famer, then Jose Pedraza is probably a Hall of Famer. Leo Santa Cruz is probably a Hall of Famer. You see where I'm going, right, chat? I'm just saying, Mario Barrios may be a Hall of Famer. I don't know, chat. I don't know. I'm just saying, these are all guys that Tank beat. I'm just saying, if you know, maybe. Can Hector Luis Garcia be considered a Hall of Famer? I mean, I don't know. He only lost to Tank and Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is a champion right now. So was Tank. His only 2 losses are champions. I'm just saying, if we all Hall of Famers, you know, we can make an argument for some people. Shout out to Gary Allen Russell though. He's a beast. I'm not saying that Hector Luis Garcia is as good as Gary Allen Russell. I'm not saying who's better or worse between him and Leo Santa Cruz. I'm not saying who's better or worse between him and Mario Barrios. I'm just saying that my consideration for Hall of Famers just expanded. I'm just saying, you trolling? I don't know. Am I trolling, Dub? Dub, I don't know if I'm trolling. I'll be honest. I don't know if I'm trolling, bro. I don't know if I'm trolling anymore, bro. I really don't know. I don't know if I'm trolling or not, or am I telling the truth? I mean, are they trolling? are they trolling? Like I don't know. I don't know what a Hall of Famer is anymore. You know, I don't know. Because it depends on what we're talking about. You know, if we're talking about Lomachenko, then yeah, apparently there's a lot of Hall of Famers. If we talk about Tank, then there's no Hall of Famers on that resume. But if we talking to Lomachenko, there's about 100,000 Hall of Famers, and he only fought 21 bitches. You know? And he fights all comers, chat. Like, we don't know that Shakur Stevenson been calling him out for 5 years, but he fights everybody according to ProBox. So am I trolling? I don't know. I really don't know. That's a good question. That's the question of the day. I honestly don't know if I'm trolling. I don't even know anymore. I done confused my damn self. You know, I'm gonna squeeze on man. Come on. I'm just saying, bro. Like, we are more mad about Tank not fighting Shakur. When I say we, I'm talking about us as a boxing community. And I know, to me, like I said, chat, to me, Beterbiev and Bivol was the best fight that we could have had in the last 2 years. The second best fight that we could have had in the last 2 years, to me, me personally now, is Canelo versus Dave Benavidez. I think Canelo wins. I like Canelo more, but I like Dave Benavidez too. I just think that it's a close fight. I think Canelo wins. That's a fight that I want to see. The third fight that I want to see the most is Tank and Shakur. I think Tank wins because I like Tank more, but I think it's a good fight. I think the only person that I could see, just because I can't see it, don't mean that upset can't happen, but that's the only fighter that I could see that could beat Tank is Shakur. I want Tank and Shakur to happen, but what I don't want, why I don't want it to happen, I'm a little hesitant on it happening, is because people like ProBox will make it seem somehow in their universe it's easier for Tank and Shakur to fight than it was for Shakur and Lomachenko to fight. Shakur and Lomachenko were both under Bob Arum on Top Rank for years. For my Hispanic brethren and sisters out there, años. You've been ducking for years? But this is the guy that you're saying he fought everybody in their prime at all times? Like, I don't get it. You're mad at Tank and Shakur for not fighting, but you're okay with Lomachenko not fighting Shakur for years. I don't get it, bro. Like, Tank and Shakur is cross-promotional at best. So that's already your roadblock. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. Like I said this plenty of time. I want that fight to happen. But part of me, I'm not going to lie, because the way the media handles it, I kind of don't want that fight to happen. I'll be cool if it doesn't happen. I kind of want to, I'm going to start advocating for them not to fight each other. I'm going to start advocating for none of the Americans to fight each other, because when Ukrainians say, hey, I don't want to fight him because he's my countryman, everybody's okay with that. Oh, that's a good answer. You don't want to fight your countryman. Oh, you don't want to fight your countryman. No, it's okay, bro. You don't want to fight your countryman. Oh, y'all come from the same country. Y'all haven't even seen each other, met each other before in life. You from the east side, he from the west side, but y'all from the same country, man. It's cool. Y'all don't have to fight. Y'all wear the same flag. Oh, it's cool. Y'all don't have to fight, man. Y'all have the same customs. Y'all share the same customs. Y'all eat the same dinner. Y'all don't have to fight. Don't worry about. Y'all married into the same culture. Y'all freaky. Y'all might be sharing wives. I don't know. Oh, y'all share. Y'all have something in similarity with each other. Oh, you don't have to fight. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Oh, you're both from England. Oh, you don't have to fight. It's okay. You don't have to fight. But when you're from America, last time I checked, Tank and Shakur are both American. So what if they just turned around and said, I don't want to fight my countrymen? How cool with that would we be? How cool with that would we be if Americans stopped fighting their countrymen? Speaking of America, man, I was watching this is going to make it more political, chat. I'm changing topics, but there was this comedian on one of the MAGA rallies, and I'm saying, shout out to my American brothers and sisters, man. Shout out to everybody, but there was a comedian on there, and I thought he said some very insensitive things, right? But he's a comedian, and apparently everything's good. But he said one thing in regards to my Puerto Rican, my Boricua brethren and sisters, and they got offended. And you should be offended, because when people say wrong things that's offensive, then they should be checked on that. However, you know what he also talked trash about? He also talked trash about the black community, right? He made a joke. That same comedian at that same time, in that same speech, he made a joke about the black community too. Where's the uproar? Where's the uproar? There's no uproar, right? But when he talks about the Puerto Rican community, who are also Americans, chat, because Puerto Rico is a territory of America, so they're Americans, there's a big uproar. You would think that he only talked about Puerto Ricans. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying you can be mad. I'm not saying you should be happy. My point is that be consistent. If you're mad at the Puerto Rican joke, you should be mad at the black joke. If you're not mad at the black joke, you shouldn't be mad at the Puerto Rican joke, because he was talking about all Americans. But that's what I'm saying. Same with boxing. The inconsistency is disgusting, bro. It's disgusting, bro. Like, I was confused. I was like, dang, did I hear him actually say something about watermelon and black folks? Or am I tripping? Did I hear that? I had to go back and rewind. Like, dang, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it was another stand-up comedian that said something racially insensitive that people are mad about. Maybe it wasn't this one. I went back and watched it, and he did say something racially insensitive towards our black brothers and sisters. But in the news, all you hear is about what he said about the Puerto Rican brothers and sisters. Why is that, chat? If we don't care about ourselves, bro, no one's gonna care, bro. Similar to Devin Haney, bro. I never see people get mad and say that a fighter, or advocate for a fighter to keep it street, until it happened to Devin Haney. I've never heard anybody say, go get it back in blood, forget the courts, you know, go bust him with the head with, don't fight, don't argue, go hit him in the head with a bottle. I've never heard so many people advocate for that before in my life, because if he would have did that, then people would have said, oh, that's not professional. Devin Haney, I've never heard anybody call Devin Haney a gangster until he got cheated. Now all of a sudden he's supposed to act like a gangster. Why? Is it because of the complexion of his skin? So if you black, you got to be a gangster. So if you white, you got to be a gangster of the mob. If you Hispanic, you got to be in the cartel. Like what are we doing? I don't get it, bro. I don't know. I guess if you black, you're blood in the Crip. If you Hispanic, you were in the cartel. If you white, you in the mob. I guess in the Italian mob. I guess let's keep our stereotypes consistent, right? I'll ask for consistency, man, and fairness. That's all I ask. But anyway, I just thought that was funny, you know. It's people were just lacking consistency, man. Años. Hey, the Axeman beat my... Yeah, Axeman did beat Nonito Donaire, man. Shout out to the Filipino Flash, man. Shout out to the Axeman. That was a good fight. That was a good fight, man. But yeah, I just think we need consistency everywhere, man. If you talk about somebody's resume and how good it is and what they did and did not do, talk about the whole thing, bro. Don't just talk about the part that sounds good, you know, because I'm gonna be honest, man, I'm not hyping up Brian Norman because we don't know what he's going to be. But I ask anybody that's familiar with boxing, tell me the difference between Brian Norman beating Giovanni Santillan and Teofimo beating Lomachenko. At that time, they were both severe underdogs. You don't become a Hall of Famer. Like right now, Brian Norman is not a Hall of Famer. Teofimo is, because what he went on to accomplish after beating Lomachenko. So when you say, oh, Lomachenko fought all comers, no, you're trying to make it seem like he fought Teofimo when he was Teofimo. He wasn't even Teo yet. He was just Teofimo Lopez. He didn't have enough to go by one name yet. He was not the takeover. He was not Teo. He was not Teofimo. He was Teofimo Lopez, up and coming top-ranked prospect when Lomachenko lost to him. So that's like saying Giovanni Santillan fought all comers because he lost to Brian Norman Jr. No, Brian Norman Jr. is still less popular than Brian Norman Sr. at this time. Now, if he goes on and becomes more, then maybe in retrospect we could give Giovanni Santillan some love and say, oh yeah, he fought all comers. But even then, you can't count. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't, because it's misleading to make it seem like he fought Teofimo when he was Teofimo. No, he fought Teofimo before he was Teofimo. It's like, let's shout out to my boy Jeffrey. He came in here and asked me about Floyd and Canelo. Floyd, as much as I love Floyd, I think Floyd is the GOAT. Floyd did not fight this cinnamon. Floyd did not fight the first ever undisputed 168 super middleweight champion in the history of boxing, Canelo. He fought a 152 Canelo, or whatever. What catchweight was it? I know it was a catchweight, if I'm not mistaken. Canelo is a different fighter than the Floyd, but Floyd gets a lot of credit because what Canelo went on to become, and that's dope. You know what I'm saying? So, but you cannot say that Floyd fought every 154 pounder. No, he didn't. He didn't, because Canelo was not indicative of that. They fought at 152. Floyd didn't fight every junior middleweight, nor did Lomachenko fight every lightweight, because he didn't fight Shakur, who was his stablemate for 5 damn years. Años. Hey, you talking about? Shout out to my boy Dub, man. Shout out to my boy Dub, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
I'm just saying, bro. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me what did I say that was out of bounds. And if you, and once again, I started it off, I like Lomachenko. Lomachenko is a beast. He is a Hall of Famer. I think so, in my personal opinion. He is that. But don't try to mislead me like I'm an idiot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Talk to people like they're slow, because people will eat that up and believe it who don't know any better. Lomachenko did not fight all comers. Maybe there was a short time period where he did, but he did not fight all comers. Shakur and Gervonta's a testimony to that twice. Now, if you want to say, oh well, Tank ducked him first, say that. Say Gervonta ducked him first. Well, okay, he might have ducked him first, but Lomachenko damn sure ducked him now. He said, Doc, pull up Tim Bradley's boxing rec. I got you, bro. Yeah. You want to say he ducked him first? Okay, well, you hit me first. Oh, you called me a name first. Okay, that sounds childish, but okay. Maybe he did duck him first, but he damn sure ducked him now. Now, Tim Bradley's a Hall of Famer in my opinion. You know, he beat Manuel Marquez. He beat Juan Manuel Marquez. He beat Manny Pacquiao. Whether you agree with it or not, you know, I think Pacquiao got robbed, but on paper he beat him. He beat didn't he beat Lamont Peterson too? Yep, Lamont Peterson. Yep, Joel Casamayor. That's a good win. Nate Campbell, the journeyman Nate Campbell, who got belt. That's a good win. Kendall Holt's a good win. So you know, I like. I don't like what a lot of stuff that he says. Jesse Vargas was a good win too. Brandon Rios was a good win too. Not saying the Hall of Famers, but that was a good win too. I'm not saying that Tim Bradley, what he says is good. He says a lot of dumb shit too. It seems like they have a lot. He said, "I smell pussy." Stop sniffing yourself. Get your bottom lip off your nose, boy. I think that Tim Bradley, he says a lot of silly stuff, a lot of stupid stuff, but he's not. I think he's a Hall of Famer for sure. I can't take it. Like I said, Tim Bradley contributed to one of my favorite fights ever when he fought Ruslan Provodnikov. That fight was amazing, man. If you haven't seen that fight was amazing, bro. God bless him, man. He probably lost a lot of brain cells. No, that might be why I don't agree with a lot of shit that he says. Because of this fight right here. he got smacked. So Canelo on his Bum of the Month tour. I don't know intelligence, man. Like I said, I do agree with you. I think that fight is bad. We talked about it already. I agree with you 1,000%. That fight is bad. I don't like that fight, but who would you rather him fight? Show intelligence. I'm curious. I'm curious who you would like for him to fight. Now, I'm not defending him either. Cause I think that fight is trash. I'm with you. But who would you want? I forgot about Devin Alexander too. When Devin Alexander said, "My eye's burning." I said to my eye. Yeah, that sweat in his eye. Oh, I forgot about Junior Witter. Nah, Tim Bradley got a good resume, bro. He did lose brain cells. Facts. Yeah, B-Dog facts. Because that fight was nasty, bro. That was a war. You want to talk about a war? You ain't never seen a war until you see Tim Bradley versus Ruslan Provodnikov. I didn't mean to play that again. My fault. Yeah, he definitely lost brain cells. Canelo on his Bum of the Month tour. Yeah, I'm curious to know, who would you rather Canelo fight? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes we got to be proactive, right? You know, I think we should always be proactive, you know. And I do think Canelo fighting Chris Eubank is terrible. It's a travesty. But who else should he fight? I really don't know. I don't know. I agree. Tim is Hall of Famer. Loma is right there with him. He just doesn't have a man. He fought for his country and missed you. Talk to him. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot of exceptions you make it. But like I said, Dub, I want to be very clear. Remember, I said I agree. That's the thing. I don't want to be misrepresented, bro. I said that he is a Hall of Fame. Remember, I said that at the very beginning of the VOD, of the video. I do believe that. I'm not being. I know you said that. You know you asked me if I'm trolling. I was not trolling when I said that. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I do. I think Lomachenko's a Hall of Famer. However, I also think that he's graded with a different rubric than other fighters. I do think that he's given a lot of leeway and a lot of grace that other fighters aren't afforded. I do think that too. Case in point, I've never in my life, the whole time I've been observing boxing, I've never heard Gary Allen Russell Jr. considered a Hall of Famer until he was referenced as a Hall of Famer to somehow increase the stock of Lomachenko's, let's be honest, limited resume. It's limited compared to other Hall of Famers. No disrespect, but why are you play those loud annoying video clips? They mess up the channel. Hey, that's no disrespect, bro. If you don't like it, I mean, if the channel's messed up and you don't like it, then you don't have to be here, Trey. Why do I play him? I play him because I want to. Simple answer. I agree, Tim is a Hall of Famer, but I appreciate your opinion. He said Benavidez. Well, I mean, he can't fight Benavidez right now, Intelligence, because Benavidez is at 175, number one, and number two, he's fighting David Morrell. So yeah, I agree with you. That's the fight I want to see the most. I want to see Canelo and David Benavidez, but he's just not there. He's not available. So, but yeah, if you, he said I agree. Tim is a Hall of Famer. He said he has ADHD. Who has ADHD? Tim Bradley. I mean, everybody got problems. I mean, no disrespect, but I don't care. That's just you say, well, you sometimes I know that's all messed up. We all got our problems. Hell, I probably got ADHD and some more shit. Nobody cares. I don't care. Boba is definitely on the grading curve. Right, exactly. Okay, so I only heard the however part. No, I agree. He's a Hall of Famer. That's why I started off. I do think Lomachenko's a Hall of Famer. I do think he's a Hall of Famer. But yeah, I definitely think he's a Hall of Famer. But yeah, however, I do think that he's graded on the curve. Fight Bud then, but even then, intelligence like so. Let's be fair. Let's be fair again. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. If you want to fight Bud, I would rather him fight Bud than Chris Eubank. Yes, I'd rather him fight Diego Pacheco and Christian Billy over Chris Eubank. However, even if Bud, so let's say show intelligence. Let's say Bud. Let's say old Cinnamon beats Bud and gives him that bomb boom.
Eso, sí. Tú vas a mamar el bicho. Tú vas a mamar
So let's say Cinnamon does that, right? Gives Bud that bomb boom, which I think Cinnamon beats Bud in a good fight. I could see Bud winning too. I could see a path to victory for Bud because Bud is a phenomenal fighter, all-time great, future Hall of Famer and legend. But I personally believe that Cinnamon beats Crawford. If Cinnamon beats Crawford, what are you gonna say? What am I gonna say? What is everybody gonna say? Oh well, Bud. No matter what they said before, everybody that had Bud winning is gonna say, oh well, you know, Canelo was too big for him. So that's what I'm so like. In life, right? Not even just boxing. In life, bro, the risk should match the reward, right? So let's say like you're going through school. The risk is that you're taking is that you could be pursuing other dreams and you're putting your other, if you have any dreams and ambitions, assuming you do, when you're going to school. Like when I'm saying school, I'm talking about like college or university or whatever, even in regular school too, because Floyd dropped out of middle school, right? If I'm not mistaken, to go pursue a full-time boxing career. So when you go to school, that's taking up time. But the sacrifice that you're making for the time spent is that the reward is going to be whatever job you secure is going to be able to compensate you for that time that you put in, and you earn a good living for yourself, right? So that's the risk and the reward. The risk is that you're sacrificing time and you could potentially not get anything. But the reward is that if you do fulfill it, you'll probably set up yourself to be situated for life comfortably, right? So even with boxing, let's go to boxing. When the risk should match the reward. Canelo should get some type of praise for winning. If he fights Bud and he wins, people are going to say he's too small. If he loses, so there's no credit there. There's no reward there. And if he loses, they're going to say, oh, well, he's a bigger fraud than the people that already call him a fraud. So there's no win there. Now, the money is the reward. You know what I'm saying? You get the money. That's why he's asking for a lot of money. But when he asks for a lot of money, what do people say? Oh, he's asking for too much money. He knows that's unrealistic. Well, that's the only reward he could get. Let's be fair here. He's fighting Crawford, who only has one fight at 154. And even if he's established at 154, that's still two weight divisions smaller than 168. And Canelo's been to 175. So he's fighting not only a smaller man, a significantly smaller man. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also, in addition to that, we've actually seen it in real time. Does anybody give credit to Canelo for beating an undisputed guy at 154? Oh, that would be Jermell Charlo. Nobody gives him credit for that. And they shouldn't. You know, as much as I like Cinnamon, I don't give him credit for beating Jermell Charlo. But why don't I give him credit? Because we see him as being too small. So we want him to fight. We're advocating for him to fight a guy that's even smaller and less accomplished at 154 than Jermell Charlo was. And we think we're going to be cool with that. That sounds good, but we're not, bro. I'm telling you, we when it comes to, first of all, Americans don't like boxing that much. But, you know, even with that, the fact that we don't like it, we're not going to be that appreciative of things. We have people complaining about Terrence Crawford struggling against Israel Madrimov in a fight that was his debut moving up. That was a great fight. That was a great performance. He's supposed to struggle. He's struggling against a bigger guy in his debut against an undefeated fighter that's a champion. Why wouldn't you struggle? You see what I'm saying? So it's like we don't give people enough credit for their accomplishments, man. My guy Tay in the building. And even still too, until Bud would get. Oh, yeah, I think Bud would probably beat. But to be fair, yeah, I think Bud beats Eubanks as well. You know, I think Bud beats Eubanks as well. He fought Charlo, bro. Charlo ain't pound for pound. Okay, you didn't hear anything I said because I don't understand that response. I don't understand that response to anything I said. So yeah, I don't know if you understood what I said. So anyway, it's all good. I'm not gonna repeat it. But yeah, I think that he said if Loma was American, he'd be considered finished. Facts, Oscar. If he was American, he'd be considered finished a long time ago before he retired.
Yeah.
Just like Deontay Wilder was considered finished when he lost once to Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Just like Errol Spence was considered finished after he lost once to Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
Just like fill in ex-boxer here, you know what I'm saying? Fill in boxer X here and apply the same concept, you know? So. Oof. But yeah, I think that even when Canelo fought that's why I say also too, David Benavidez and David Morrell, we need to give David Benavidez the most credit in the world, because David Benavidez fighting David Morrell makes no sense. The risk does not match the reward. We got to give David Benavidez his credit. Got to give David Benavidez his credit because, like I said, the reward is not there. He beats Morrell, people are just going to say, oh, he's supposed to beat him because David Morrell only has 11 fights. Right? But then if he loses to Morrell, people are going to say, oh, yeah, well, I always knew Morrell could beat him. And David Benavidez, you know, he's only wins because he's a weight bully and stuff like that. When he fights somebody his size, then he's going to lose. You know? So that's the culture, bro. That's how we are. That's why I'm here. And that's why channels like that tend to give boxers their credit are here. You know what I'm saying? Like a Just Do, or you know what I'm saying, like a Ryan Frazier, Boxing Talk Up North. I'm laughing because I want to say Karma Serene. She has a good channel. She don't be getting nobody credit though, so I'll be lying, and I ain't no liar, chat. I can't be. I was gonna say that's why Karma Serene is here too, because she be giving people their credit. But if I said that, that would have been a flat out lie. That would have been some BS for show.
Bullshit! 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 Bullshit!
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. Shout out to Karma. Has a great channel, but her channel's not great because she be giving people credit. That girl is she a super critic, boy. Shout out to Karma though. She be making some good points now. She be valid in a lot of her statements. She just don't be. There just ain't no love in the city, boy. There ain't no love in the. I couldn't even tell that lie with a straight face. I'd have been like Chris Algieri. He's a Hall of Famer. This man stuttered about 30 times. Sound like what's the dude's name from the Looney Tunes? It sounded like gosh dang Foghorn Leghorn. This man couldn't even get that lie out his mouth straight. This man. And I'm not saying Gary Allen Russell's not a Hall of Famer, but I don't want to hear the first time Gary Allen Russell's a Hall of Famer when you're trying to tell me how much Lomachenko was a Hall of Famer. Canelo should be the favorite, but it's a better fight than Eubank, the BS match just for the Euros. Yeah, of course, it is a better fight. That's not the point. I didn't say Chris Eubank is the best fight. I prefaced, like I said, I don't know. It's kind of hard because I'm not sure what you're comprehending. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. I'm not sure what you're comprehending and what you're not comprehending. So it's kind of hard to have a discussion. Maybe if it was in real time and I heard your voice or something like that, you're responding. But it sounds like in the chat you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not coming from the angle that Chris Eubank is the best fight. I literally said that I think this fight is trash. I'm not saying Chris Eubank is a better opponent than Bud Crawford either. I'm saying that people would also complain about Bud Crawford versus Canelo too. Just like people would also complain about Canelo versus Diego Pacheco. Just like people also complain about Canelo versus Christian and Billy. I literally said that I think Christian and Billy and Diego Pacheco are better fights than Chris Eubank. But Chris Eubank brings a nation behind him so you can understand it. So my point, I'm coming from the perspective that if people are going to talk trash about my next opponent anyway, then I might as well make it the easier fighter that's more popular. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is a good fight. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying it's trash. But the alternatives, every other alternative, and the 168-pound division, people would complain about it too. If he fights Diego Pacheco, even though he's the #1 fighter, ranked fighter in the WBO sanctioned body, people say it's trash because he's fighting a prospect. If he fought Christian and Billy, who's the #1 ranked fighter in the WBA and WBC, he's the number one ranked opponent. He's the #1 ranked fighter in 2 sanctioned bodies. People say it's trash because his last performance against Sergey Derevyanchenko was terrible, and he's an up and coming prospect fighter, just like Diego Pacheco. If he fought Caleb Plant, people will say, oh, well, he already beat Caleb Plant. If he fought Jaime Munguia, people will say, oh, he already beat Jaime Munguia. If he fought Osley Iglesias, they'll say, oh, he's another prospect because he only has 11 fights. So there's nobody in his division that he could fight that people would complain about it. So if people are going to complain, then I might as well do what I want and make it as easy for myself as possible. I'm not defending it. I think the fight is trash. Again, and I said that already. But people just want to hear what they want to hear. And I feel like you're just hearing me defending Chris Eubank Jr., which I'm not. I'm just saying that there's no fight, which I asked you to suggest a fight that you wouldn't complain about. You said David Benavidez. Well, David Benavidez is unrealistic on 2 counts. One count is that he's already occupied with David Morrell. The other count is that he's at 175. He's not in his division. So that's not really realistic. Charlo is pound for pound over Bam. Tay, that's a good point. I agree. The only reason why I disagree with that is just because I don't have Charlo on my personal pound for pound right now because he's just inactive. Now, when he comes back, hey, he's right back in there. You know what I'm saying? Unless he fights somebody that doesn't really hold weight, you know. But just off of sheer inactivity, I can't put him on the pound for pound list at all. But if he was on my pound for pound list, if it was inclusive of Jermell Charlo, then yeah, I agree. He's undisputed. You know, people only disrespect undisputed when it's certain fighters, bro. Like, and it's funny how people don't care about undisputed when it's certain fighters like Lomachenko. But I mean, that's another story. You know, he's so dominant and fought everybody. Did he get? Was Lomachenko undisputed, chat? I'm hey, Dub, I'm not trolling, Dub. Hey, Dub, I really need to know, brother. I really need to know, brother. Dub, was Lomachenko undisputed? The guy that fought everybody, was he undisputed? Because I thought a very clear testament to fighting everybody would be getting undisputed. Last time I checked, he was in one undisputed fight, and I don't remember what happened. Oh, he lost. Oh, okay. but he's a Hall of Famer, though, you know. You know, he's a Hall of Famer because he beat Gary Allen Russell, you know, another Hall of Famer. Cricket, thank you, Dev. I appreciate the honesty, brother. I appreciate the honesty. You know, because people only care about, you know, I thought being undisputed meant you fight everybody, you know, and you know, or being that you at least being in multiple pursuits of undisputed or multiple fights trying to get to undisputed. I thought that's what that meant. But hey, apparently you could be Lomachenko and not fight everybody, but still be considered that you fought everybody and still, you know, say that you fought everybody and everybody that you lost to. It was, oh, I forgot to say this, chat. They also said that Devin Haney's win was controversial, which I agree. It was controversial, but you know what they didn't? You know what they did? They conveniently left out amidst the controversy was that Lomachenko officially protested with the sanctioning body to have that ruling overturned. Where's all the pussies and bitches and softs for Lomachenko? Once again, like my boy Dub said, crickets. These are just facts, bro. You can be mad at me. You can think I'm hating on Lomachenko. I'm just telling the truth. I actually like Lomachenko. I like the Matrix. I like Lomachenko. But we gonna call it for what it is, especially if we so openly call it what it ain't when it comes to other fighters to make them look bad, and we call it what it ain't for some fighters to make them look good. We gonna call them what it is across the board, whether it makes them look bad or makes it look good. That's just how the chips fall. Not gonna lie, I still want to see Tim Tszyu versus Bud. Me too, and I still think Crawford would have hell beaten him. Oh, I still think Crawford would have hell beaten Tim Tszyu. I think so. I think that's a tough fight still. Bro, you know me, man. We don't throw away fighters around here, man. I think Tim Tszyu as good as I thought he was? No, of course his stock is going to go down a little bit from losing in such a devastating fashion like he did against Bakram with one hand, apparently, according to his trainer, which is clearly he's exaggerating a bit, but he did break his knuckle in his pinky, in the right hand of his pinky. And I don't know how many of y'all ever punched on something before, but I broke a knuckle before. Well, it wasn't diagnosed, but this knuckle right here, you can even see is clearly lower than others. I hurt my knuckle, my hand ballooned up, it was swollen. You know, it handicaps your punching ability because it makes your hand more sensitive. So I don't think he broke his hand, but he did break a knuckle, which is on your hand, so you broke your hand. So I think he's exaggerating a bit, but it's definitely gonna handicap your right hand, you know. And he destroyed Tim Tszyu with one hand in 3 rounds, 4 knockdowns. I mean, Tim Tszyu naturally has to be his reputation has to go down, right? You know, his how good he is, you know, has to be diminished a little bit, but I still think he's a formidable fighter. I still think he's a major player at 154. I think that's the beauty of having so much parity in the 154 pound division, is that you are only 1 or 2 wins away from being right back in the mix. If Tim Tszyu comes back and he fights Virgil Ortiz and beats him, he's right back in the mix. If he beats Jesus Ramos, he's right back in the mix, who Jermell Charlo is apparently fighting. So I'm just speaking hypothetically. If Tim Tszyu beats Erickson Lubin, he already beat Erickson Lubin. If he beats Serhiy Boachuk, he's right back in the mix. Who's fighting? If he beats Israel Madrimov, you know, Boachuk and Madrimov are fighting. If he beats Madrimov, he's right back in the mix. So that's why 154. If he beats Charles Conwell, he may need another fight because Conwell's considered an up and comer. But you know, if let's say he beats Charles Conwell and Michael Zarafa, who's his Australian countryman, who would be a domestic fight, he's right back in the mix. So I don't think he's finished. He said Tim is finished. Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anybody who thinks he's finished. I just don't think he's finished. He said that this ninja Tim said after the fight, what happened? Yeah, that was funny, bro. He said, what the fuck happened? He ain't know what happened, but he is still getting the Hall of Fame status. Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's like I said. The point, my point was not to gangbang or dispute or fight Lomachenko's Hall of Fame status. That's not the point. My point was to say, was to point out the hypocrisy of people like ProBox, who should know better, coming out and saying why he's a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer because he fought everybody. That's just not true, because he didn't fight everybody. And he's not a Hall of Famer because he was handicapped when he fought Orlando Salido. Because if Devin Haney could fight an overweight Ryan Garcia, if Oscar Duarte could fight an overweight Ryan Garcia, he could fight an overweight Orlando Salido. Give me a second, chat. I have a phone. Bro, Dub, you got me rolling, bro. Talking about you need a doc talking to Obama. You need an ear. I'm talking about my mama called me, talking about her car, so I got to go. I was trying to listen to it and diagnose it, so I'm gonna try to look on the internet and see what she told me, see if I could tell her what it could potentially be. But you still get hard. Thank you, Show Intelligence, for proving a point for me. Charlo is finished too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people say Charlo's finished and Tim Tszyu is finished. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that was a devastating night. Like, I'm not mad at anybody who thinks Tim Tszyu is finished, right? Because Charlo, call it what you want. When you want to run and survive, it looks better than getting put on your back pockets like how Tim Tszyu did in 3 rounds. So that was a demolition. And I could understand if someone thinks he's finished because at the end of the day, Tim Tszyu did lose back-to-back. And, you know, now a lot of people like myself, I gave him a pass for the first loss with Sebastian Fundora because I thought he was severely handicapped. You know, not only was his vision impaired by the blood in his eye, but the cut that he sustained was profusely leaking blood, and so that drains your energy. Anybody that loses excessive amount of blood, you know, your energy is drained. And so he fought a 12-round fight like that from the second round on. So he fought 10 rounds like that. So that's tough. And so I gave him a pass for that. But then when you lose back-to-back, a lot of people would disregard that, you know, because that's how people are, you know. I don't disregard it, but it's still on paper. It looks bad. It looks like you have 2 losses back-to-back, which is what he does. And if you don't have any context to that, then you just see 2 L's. And then this one compounds the issue because he got smacked by Bakram. There's no excuse for that. You know, if anybody had an excuse, it would be Bakram because, like I said, his trainer came out and said that he broke his hand. So a week prior to the fight. So if anybody was handicapped in that fight, it was Bakram. And like I said, Tim Tszyu was very dismissive of Bakram, saying he was a step-aside fighter and how he's just gonna how he was looking past him, talking about he wants to fight Charlo and Spence and Bud afterwards, and you know, saying that they're in different worlds. And Bakram did that to him, and you know, of course he's gonna say what happened because that was not on the. I don't think he thought, and me too. I don't think if you would have told me could anybody in the 154-pound division do Tim Tszyu like that, I would have said you're crazy. I don't think anybody would run through Tim Tszyu like shit through draws in the manner in which Bakram did, you know, but he did, you know, and that's why we love boxing. So yeah, I don't think he knows what happened. He might still not know what happened. Hell, I don't know what happened either, you know. So, but yeah, I just don't think Tim Tszyu is. I personally don't. Shit, crazy. I personally don't believe Tim Tszyu is finished, but he could be. My boy Clone in the building. My boy Clone with his signature number 3 super chat. Shout out to my boy Clone dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
Yes, sir. My boy Dub says, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Shout out to Clone. Shout out to Dub. Shout out to Clone. My boy Clone says, if Canelo fights Eubank Jr., he's in the same category as Kawhi, CC, and Jarisa, old ass Tarasi. What category is that, bro? Oh, he's in the category of greatness? Oh, so if Canelo fights Eubank, that he's further establishes his greatness, I guess, because Kawhi's great. CC's great. Hold on, let me hit you with it. Kawhi's great.
Yeah.
CC's great.
Yeah.
Angel Reese is great.
Yeah.
And so is old ass Tarasi. Diana Taurasi's great.
Yeah.
So I don't. What are we talking about? What are we really talking about? Nah, but shout out to chat though, man, and that dude that came in and said that the sound alerts are loud. If it's too loud for y'all, let me know, chat. I don't mind turning them down, but I'm not getting rid of them because I love it. You know, I got to do what I love because whether people love it or not, people will stop rocking with you for any reason. If people rock with me, they could rock with me for 4 months, 5 months, and then I say, oh, Chris Eubank is trash, and they like Chris Eubank, they're gonna stop rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? So people are very finicky like that. So you always got to be in tune with yourself and do what you love. But if it is too loud for some of y'all, then let me know. I don't mind people telling. I'm not gonna get mad. I didn't get mad at that dude. He said no disrespect. I just said no disrespect, but you could find somewhere else to get your boxing news from. If you don't like it, I'll be right back though. Let me go grab a water. But yeah, I don't mind. Please, if you feel like you if there's anything that you can add to the channel or feel like to take away from the channel, let me know. Suggestions are definitely welcome and encouraged. Yo, it's your boy Doc again. I know you sitting there like, did this Doc just run his own commercial? Yes, I did. In the middle of the street, we run our own ads. That's what we do right here. So when you see other boxing channels implement the same idea, I don't mind people biting us. But dang, at least give us some credit. So those of you that are rocking with me, you're already a part of the best boxing channel on YouTube.
That's a fact, ain't it? Ain't it? All right, then.
You already caught up. Those that don't know, the rest of the world, they just got to catch up, baby. You know, and they eventually will, you know, because we bring y'all unfiltered, unbiased, raw, and educated and funny boxing takes, man. with accurate information. Can they all say the same? Of course they can. So let's get right to it, man. Why do you want to become a member of this channel? Because we already told you we're the best, but it does come along with perks, you know what I'm saying? First off, you can join at the STREETZ gang prospect level. You know, it's only $2.99. I know times is rough right now, but you can still contribute. You know what I'm saying? And what do you get? All right, I'm back. I feel like the people don't like them are the people that don't contribute. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't getting no love. You know what I'm saying? Of course you ain't gonna like the biscuits because you ain't giving no biscuits. But the people who give it the biscuits, you know what I'm talking about? I feel like they love it. And again, even if they don't, I do. It's annoying to you because you ain't getting no paper. Because if you really love the channel, you know what I'm talking about? You'll be here every day. You'll be here every day. But yeah, man, so I thought we had a good conversation, man. Obama is at the door making him vote. He down. They're down 9 rounds. They down 9 rounds is crazy, bro. That joke is crazy, bro. That's crazy. Hey, Doug, I have a question, though, bro. You being, you know what I'm saying, you having a dope relationship, a happy relationship with your love, with your wifey and all that stuff, man. Y'all have a happy home. And it's a multicultural home. How did you feel about the jokes, and how did your wife? Because I'm sure. Well, I don't know, but did you watch the rally with that comedian? How did you feel about the jokes? Were you offended, or? I know, if I'm not mistaken, I think your wife is Mexican, and his joke was to Puerto Rican specifically. However, I think this is my gripe with people, right? I feel like something's insensitive is insensitive. You don't have to relate to something directly. Like, so if I don't feel like I have to be black, I am black, but I don't feel like I have to be black to be offended by somebody doing something wrong to black people. Nor do I have to be Puerto Rican or Hispanic at all to know that what he said was kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but if you are, if I was Hispanic, even if I was Mexican or Colombian, just because I'm not Puerto Rican, no, I would still be offended. You know what I'm saying? And I was offended when he said that, because, you know, Puerto Ricans are Americans. I thought that I recognize it as an insensitive joke, but what I don't appreciate are people that are making it seem like he was just disrespectful towards one community. He was disrespectful towards a lot of communities. So if you were mad about the Puerto Rican joke, then you should be mad about the black joke, because blacks in America and Puerto Ricans in America are American. Matter of fact, Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico are American too. Like, well, so it was American talking about another American. I was just curious about that. I'm going to watch the I'm 2 days behind. Oh, okay. Now don't worry about it. You like that word great, huh? Kawhi CC and Reese are, bro. How many records do you have to break, bro? You know Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. You know how many records they broke in their rookie season? That's not greatness. Now I'm not saying they're great like Hall of Fame. No, because they don't have the longevity yet. They only been in the league for 1 year, but. You know how many rookie records they broke? You know how many, no, forget that. Not only did they break rookie records, they broke records in WNBA history, particularly Angel Reese. Angel Reese was on an ongoing double-double streak, so we've seen greats like Candace Parker. We've seen her beat greats like Candace Parker's records. You know what I'm saying? So they had broke records and the rebounding record. She was leading rebounding in the league. She wasn't the leading rebounder amongst rookies. She was the leading rebounder in the league. That includes Asia Wilson, Jonquel Jones, Breonna Stewart, Alyssa Thomas, and other hitters like that. So, yeah, of course, they had a great season. So, and they had great collegiate careers. So, they're great right now. Are they great like WNBA Hall of Fame? Nah, they don't have the resume yet, because they've only been in for 1 year. And Angel Reese's year was cut short due to injury. And Caitlin Clark, you know, she made it to the playoffs. Boy, you a hater, boy. Caitlin Clark ain't great, bro. Angel Reese ain't great. I didn't even see you put Kawhi. I'm not even going. I'm not going. This man said Kawhi. I'm not going. I ain't about to argue with Kawhi. Great podcast. That's crazy. She got a great podcast future. CC, one of the greatest turnover machines ever. Hey, you might be right on both counts. Maybe she has a great podcast future, and she has a great turnover future. Hey, give me a second, chat. Boy, dogs are like children, chat. They might be worse than children because they can never take care of themselves. Eventually, kids could take care of themselves. W vote for Sister Harris right after those jokes. You know, Dub's not going, bro. Dub is not going. He better be. He better be voting for. He ain't though. I ain't mad at that though. Do your thing. But yeah, man. So I think with just to sum up everything, man, I thought we had a good conversation. At the end of everything, I'm not saying Canelo versus Eubank is a good fight. I think it's a terrible fight, but I don't know where else he could go. He fights Crawford. I would like it more, but will the masses like it more? Is it in it? What's in it for him? We have to weigh these possibilities, right? And we have to weigh these things, right? These outcomes. It's not just unless we want to keep our head in the sand and act like we don't know. If you want to be oblivious, then be oblivious. But if you're not oblivious, then you have to recognize some things and say from an honest perspective. Is Chris Eubank and Canelo a good fight? Absolutely not. In no world, shape, form, or fashion is that a good fight. No parallel universe, no alternate universe. That's not a good fight. But you know, people will complain if he fights Diego Pacheco too. People will complain if he fights Christian and Billy too. People will complain if he fights William Skull too. They'll be like, oh, you just gave up your IBF title. Why are you going back to get the IBF title now from William Skull? So people will complain regardless, as long as it's not David Benavidez, and David Benavidez is already occupied, which I don't think he would fight him anyway. You know, so I think that this is it's understandable, but it's still not good. I think both things can exist simultaneously. We can understand something, but at the same time recognize it's not good. So I think it's I always try to take the proactive approach. It's easy to say something is trash, but tell me what's better. You know, so if I can't really tell you what's better for me, obviously, is Diego Pacheco or Christian and Billy, or or if not Christian and Billy, Diego Pacheco, William Skull, or if not William Skull, then hell, I don't know. That's about it, really, because I don't really see the need of Bivol fighting Bivol. Bivol's not undisputed anymore, and I don't really think he will fight Beterbiev, and that's moving up. So I never really hold fighters accountable for fighting fighters outside of their weight class. I just think it's a exceptional feat when they do, but I don't hold them accountable for not fighting guys outside of their weight class, like some people that are unrealistic, in my opinion, do. So whenever you do that, you're striving for greatness. So I don't hold. So yeah, everybody in this division, there's nobody that I really get excited for. So like I said, if you're gonna fight Chris Eubank, this would be the perfect time to do it. But I think it's trash though. But hey, I don't know. And then what else? Lomachenko. If he retires, I think it's fine. I think if he retires right now, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. And I think that he should be treated as such, you know. And I don't think that I don't think he owes boxing anything, you know what I'm saying? And salute to him. Now I will say this: I will be on his head top if Lomachenko retires, Tank and Shakur fight, and then Lomachenko unretires. And I would be on his head top, and it don't matter. We're a small channel, but I would keep going until we get big. I'm going to never let nobody forget that when they say he fights all comers. So if Lomachenko retires and he doesn't feel like doing it anymore, good for him, man. It's his career. I enjoyed a lot of fights that he was involved in. Shout out to Lomachenko. He's a great fighter. Can't take nothing from him. But when Pro Box comes out here and people lie, say that he fought all comers, that's a lie. That's not true, because you're going to turn around and say that, oh, guys like Shakur and Tank don't fight everybody, and you say Zepeda and Lomachenko does. No, I'm not going for that, bro. That's just not true. It's simply not true. Lomachenko has fought everybody for a long time, ever since Shakur's been calling him out for about 5 years. So, you know, if he wants to retire, I think it's a dope career. 18-3, he beat some great fighters, you know, and he lost to some great fighters too. And he's a Hall of Famer. But let's just be consistent with our grading scale and grading curve. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a ridiculously favoring somebody else with the grading curve. You know, I remember when I was in college, right? I remember I took a test. I don't remember what class it was. I want to say it was Mechanical Systems 2. I'm not sure though. Was it Mechanical Systems? It could have been Metallurgy. It was some class, right? And then me and my friend that studied together, like I said, with engineering, they ask you a lot of open-ended questions, and it's not just about getting the answer, right? It's about how you got there and if your approach is right. Because hypothetically you could get the right answer but have the wrong methodology or a wrong way of thinking, you know. If it works, it's fine, but if you have some absurd methodology or thought process, a problem solving process and you just happen to have the right answer because you cheated or something, then you're not going to get full credit, right? Because it's not just about the answer. That's why they give you a lot of partial credit, because there's a lot of places to make mistakes, because a lot of questions are long, man. Take 2 sheets to answer one question, literally 2 or 3 sheets, depending on how big you write. But I remember me and my friend who studied together, it was this, he's the Asian and white dude, my guy Kenji, and he it was this professor, right? And this goes to show you that it doesn't matter, man. Some people will not like you, and they have self-hatred. They not like you, even though you look like them. They might not like you. But there was a guy, you know, I'm Nigerian and Jamaican. He was a guy, I want to say he was Nigerian too, the professor, Dr. Warioba. I never forget him. Punk ass had to call the police because I was mad at him, man, because I feel like this was the second time he did me dirty. But this time I could prove it. And I asked my boy, I said, bro, do you mind? Because I ain't no snitch, you know. I was like, he got more credit on a question than I did. I got it completely wrong. I think he gave me like 2 points or something. It was like a 20-point question. And the dude, me and him got the same answer, and our method was very similar because we studied together. And I think he got like an 18 out of 20 on that question. So he was like, yeah, I don't mind. I said, but even still, when he said he didn't mind, I asked Dr. Royoba, I said, hey, I want to ask you about this question and why I got it wrong and why this person got it right. We have essentially the same thing. But I said, if it comes with the risk of reducing his grade, then I don't want to do it. Because that's a stand-up guy I am. You know what I'm talking about? And he was like, no, I won't take away his credit. But then I showed him. And then he just hit me with the Chris Algieri. Well, Lomachenko's a Hall of Famer. Gary Allen Russell's a Hall of Famer. So, you know me, man, like I said, I try to be better, but I'm kind of confrontational, man. I don't like to be confrontational, but I don't take no shit neither. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been no thug, no gangster, no none of that, but I ain't never been no pussy neither. You know, so I don't take no shit from nobody. That's one thing I will stand on. So I don't care what capacity you are, you do me dirty, I'm gonna let you know about it if I have the opportunity to do so. So I let him know, and then I voiced my displeasure. And he was telling me, leave his office, and like that. So he said, oh, you're accusing me of such and such. I said, I'm not accusing you of nothing. Do you feel like that? I said, is that how you feel right now? I'm not accusing you of nothing. The proof is in the pudding. I don't have to accuse you of nothing. Similar to Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney don't have to accuse Ryan Garcia of nothing. He failed the test. The proof is in the pudding. Me and him had a very almost identical thing. It's just different order of operations that we did. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about order of operations like math. You know what I'm saying? Order of operations in which you did things because you get this variable, get this unknown, then plug it back in, and get this one and plug it back in. You know what I'm saying? A long process. So it was clear that we didn't cheat off each other. First of all, we didn't sit by each other. But like I said, we studied together, so it's very similar. So I was like, you can't. So anyway, long story short, he threatened to call the cops, whatever, the campus police. They came, escorted me out, whatever. I took it to the dean because I'm not going. And the dean, a Chinese man, Dr. Shi, guess whose favor he sided on? He sided with me because I was right. You know what I'm saying? I was right, bro. So like, you know, you just got to make sure people treat you fairly, bro. But a lot of times people don't, because people have their innate biases and they try to act like they're approaching it from a fair, equal manner, and they're not, bro. A lot of people who shouldn't have biases, they do have biases, and it's exercised and demonstrated in something that could potentially, unfortunately, dictate or have an influence on somebody's future. You know what I'm saying? And when you talk about guys like Lomachenko, you talk about guys like Shakur, you talk about Tank, you don't treat them fairly when you're analyzing their resume and their records, and you know, it makes somebody look like they're not something they're not, like, and it makes it seem like, oh, this person's cherry picking more than this person, and essentially they're doing the same thing, which is, you see how I brought it back? We essentially did the same thing, got the same result, but one is treated better and one was treated worse. That's exactly how it is when it comes to Lomachenko. That's my only gripe. It's not against Lomachenko himself. He's a fighter. He's a great fighter, and he goes in and performs. It's not Lomachenko that I have a disdain for. I have a disdain for the way people treat Lomachenko relative to other fighters. I think it's very unfair. And if you are an honest person and a person that's a thinking person and a person that has all their senses intact, particularly their eyes and their listening skills, their eyes and their ears to hear and listen, and their brain to think, then you would easily see that Lomachenko has been treated like the golden child for a long time, bro. And now I have a boxing platform to talk about it. But yeah, man, he said, I feel you, Dub. Trump finna get us paid, but Harris, her sister, and she low-key was bad back in the day. I'm not even reading. He said, look at those nasty liberal cities. I'm not going close. Look, I know the policies, and I was them in the 90s, and I see the plans is playing out, and most brothers have figured it out also. I'm next door to California. I know all what Yeah, yeah. I know all about what Harris did. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. As an attorney general and stuff, I heard some pretty bad, wicked things. I ain't gonna lie. But at the same time, I personally don't believe Trump has the welfare and fortune of all people in mind. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that's one thing. Like I tell you, and it's sad. It's sad that I think like this, Dub, but I do. I always think of the lesser of two evils. When I vote, I always think I'm between a rock and a hard place, and I just go for the place that's not as hard. Pause. You know, that's what I do. I think of two evils, and I try to go for the lesser of two evils. That's why when people say, "Oh, I don't vote because both the candidates are bad," we'll pick the one that's less bad. You know what I'm talking about? They both might want to destroy the earth, but maybe one of them wants to destroy the universe as well. So go with the one that only wants to destroy the earth. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so there's always a lesser. There's always, even if two people are bad, two things are evil. There's always one that's less evil and less bad. And even if two things are both good, there's one that's more good and less good. So that's when people say they don't vote. I don't want to hear that shit, because even if you don't like either one of the candidates, you know, one is always better than the other. Yeah, that's how I look at it, bro. I just look at the lesser of two evils. I'm not like one that thinks that, oh, this candidate is perfect. I mean, you see how I talk about shoot. I just made a whole show today. I like Cinnamon. I don't want anybody to get twisted. Cinnamon is one of my favorite fighters, but this fight is trash. I have no problem critiquing things. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. You know, we all need critiques. I love my mama to death. She's not perfect. You know, we don't love and like, at least I don't. We don't like and love each other because we think they're perfect. But a lot of people do, though. That, to me, that's no disrespect to my ladies out there. You know what I'm saying? One time for the ladies. But I'm gonna be honest, you know, I think that when you, just because you like something, you think that they're infallible and perfect and angelic in nature. I think it's because that's female tendencies, particularly middle school 13-year-old female crush tendencies. That's what 13-year-old girls do when they have a crush on somebody. They think that person is perfect and they can't do anything. They can't say nothing wrong. They can't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's like. So like I can't even relate to that. How do you even feel like that about a boxer? You know, so there's no boxer that I think is above critique. It's just, but I do think that there's some boxers that are more, that are easier. It's easier to be critical of them than others because they do a lot of foul shit. But there's a lot of boxers. I love boxers. There's a lot of boxers that do a lot of good shit too. Speaking of the good shit, you know, we got O'Shaquie Foster and Robson Kasesau coming up in that rematch, even though O'Shaquie Foster was robbed. Another top-ranked fighter, you know, another top-ranked situation, was robbed. That fight is coming up. We have Floyd's Kid Oscar Schofield returning to the ring. That fight's coming up on Saturday. We have Raymond Muratalla. That fight's coming up. So there's some pretty good fights, man. Pretty good fights. We have Gabriella Fundora versus another Gabriella on Gabriella Crime. That fight's coming up. And then there's something else too. I feel like I'm missing somebody, but yeah. The reason why I like being 2 days behind is I watched the spin also. Yep, that's true. That's true. Yep, watch the spin. Yep. I don't blame that. Yeah, people be spinning things, man. But yeah, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. Both sides do spins of the, yeah, facts. We're gonna have our first sister in there. Then we can vote for the right reasons next time, P. Yeah. Bro, shut up, bro. You funny. But yeah, man, don't forget to like the video, man. I appreciate y'all rocking for real, man. I'm about to go ahead and call it. We did a long show today. Well, no, not really long. We usually do like a 2-hour show, but the last 2 days I've been doing short shows. Hey, shout out to my boy Dub for putting some color in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Hitting us with the super chat for the $2. And shout out to Clone. My boy Dub with the $2 and Clone with the big $5, man. I appreciate y'all, man. My boy putting some blue in the chat. My boy putting some green in the chat. You know what I just realized too, chat? I wasn't paying attention. I just realized that. I realized this yesterday. I thought the color codes, I never really paid attention. I thought the colors were just not random, but I thought it was always blue or orange. But now I see that it's like different levels. So if you do like $2, it's blue, and if you do Clone just did, he did $5, so it's like a teal. You know what I'm saying? Like a teal color. And then when Ty did $9, it was orange. So that's kind of dope. I like that. I didn't realize it was color coded by the amount. I just peeped that. But yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me as always, man. Don't forget to like the video. You know what I'm talking about? Like that video, my boys and girls. Like the video, but most importantly, remember with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. I'll catch y'all on the late show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good Lord willing. Peace. Y'all be safe and stay blessed.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.